of evisceration, right? When you listen to that, you think to yourself, it's absurd. But again, it takes me back to the position. And Trump says absurd things, but no one
It's not easy to follow in the footsteps of your idol, especially when he's Diego Maradona and your country expects you to emulate him. That was the burden Lionel Messi would carry on his remarkable World Cup journey. In 2006, a baby-faced 18-year-old Messi scored on his tournament debut in a 6-0 rout of Serbia and Montenegro, but Argentina would be knocked out by Germany. By 2010, Messi was the best player in the world and under pressure to inherit Maradona's crown. But again, it didn't go all that well. He didn't score a single goal, and for the second tournament in a row, Argentina would be knocked out in the quarter-finals by Germany. A year later, Messi was made permanent captain of his country, and the pressure ramped up further. Their last major honour had been the 1993 Copa America. Anticipation was off the scale in 2014, which was surely their year, right? Argentina battled to the final, but who was waiting for them? Germany, and they nicked a late goal in extra time. Messi had fallen at the final hurdle, and the golden ball was no consolation. By 2018, patience was wearing thin, but a disaster of a tournament saw Argentina finish second in their group and go out to France in the round of 16. This was never going to happen for Messi, but hope began to return. Messi lifted the Copa America in 2021, so going into 2022, the tension in Argentina was palpable. Messi and his team scraped through the groups and then got past Australia, the Netherlands and Croatia. France and this guy awaited in the final, and it was one of the great World Cup spectacles. Messi scored 2 as the game went the full distance, but when Argentina's winning penalty went in, Messi didn't run. He sank to his knees. All that waiting, the trials, the pressure, the anguish, he'd done it. 36 years after Maradona became Argentina's forever hero, Messi finally had fulfilled his destiny.
Good morning, 4 minutes past 6 o'clock. It is Wednesday, July the 8th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Morning, Gabby. How you doing?
Morning, Jeff. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, mate. I mean, mixed bag of football, I thought, yesterday, in the sense that we have one brilliant game and one absolute dog.
Yes.
Switzerland, Colombia. Real contender for the worst game in the entire tournament.
It was that bad, Jeff, that I couldn't stay awake for the second half of extra time. I was like, I can't do 15 more minutes. I'm too tired. My eyes are going. So I just went to sleep. Woke up this morning, seeing they lost on penalties. I think Colombia were the ones trying to play the football, trying to attack, and Switzerland were very good defensively.
Yeah.
You've got to give them credit for their tactics. They sat behind the ball, made it difficult. They were very good on Luis Diaz, Luis Suarez as well. But heartbreak for Colombia.
Yeah, I have to say, when it got to penalties, when I saw Davinson Sanchez step up to take...
Oh, Lord.
Look, he got closer than I thought. He hit the bar because he never looked for a minute like he was going to score.
No.
It wasn't the worst penalty, by the way. Manuel Akanji, worst penalty of the entire tournament,
Yes.
probably. I think it's still going up now. But it was amazing. to be honest, I missed quite a lot of that Colombia-Switzerland game, and I was fortunate too, because I know some people think it's a posh boy sport, posh boys and girls sport, but you try to turn that to Novak Djokovic. What an amazing match last night. He beat the third seed, who is 14 years, is junior. He's the oldest semi-finalist in more than 50 years. It was the longest ever Wimbledon quarterfinal, and he was beyond compare. Of course,
it's incredible what he's still doing, isn't he?
Oh, man.
He's the Messi of tennis, isn't he?
Yeah,
still doing it at 39.
39, yeah.
It's incredible what he's doing. And if you speak to anyone that's actually seen him, Jeff, in person, I know someone yesterday that I was speaking to that's seen him in person. He says, Gabby, he's about 6'4", and he looks like he's made out of stone.
Yeah.
When you sort of tapped his arm is rock solid. Like he's the Ronaldo Messi, isn't he? Like the Ronaldo physique of like looking after himself and the legendary player. And to play 5 sets at 39, imagine what that's going to take.
5.25 hours. My big worry for him now is he plays Sinner in the semi-finals, and how much did that 5.25 hours take out of him? But we shall see. You haven't had a chance to check the World Cup scores yet. Switzerland through the last 8. They beat Colombia on penalties following a 0-0 draw. It was the most inevitable 0-0 ever.
So I'll let you carry on, mate. I'm still drained from the Argentina game.
Well, we would.
Mate, I was going to go to Elephant and Castle. Yeah. I couldn't get out of my bed after watching Argentina in bed. I was like, I'm drained. I'm stressed from watching that game. Anxiety. Obviously, big Messi fan. Happy for him to go through. Wow. Over to you, Jeff.
No, I couldn't agree more. And you saw the pictures of Messi in tears at the end. The truth is, I thought the truth of that game was that Egypt. How do I put this without being condescending? Egypt, by their own standards, brilliant. Defended. Yep. I mean, I don't know what the Egyptian is for lump it boys, but they got rid whenever they could get rid. They had one touch in the Portugal box in the first half, and that was the goal.
Argentina box, yeah.
The Argentina box, I beg your pardon. Thanks, Gabby. And that was the goal. So in the second half, they had a couple of wonderful
counter-attacks
moments.
Hussein was very good, wasn't he?
Oh,
he had the 20 minutes of his life, didn't he?
Agents will be queuing up outside his door this morning. I mean, he plays in the second division in Spain. You know,
game changed as well when you come off.
Yeah, absolutely, because he was a massive threat going forward. He was brilliant, but the Egyptians afterwards were shouting "fix."
No,
not for me.
I was confused. All the outrage.
Yeah,
I don't think it was 2 fouls that they're saying weren't given. I don't think they were fouls.
No, I didn't.
McAllister on the edge, and then the Salah one. I didn't think they were both fouls. I feel like the Sandro Martinez, there was 2 fouls. There was a shirt pull, but it was more for me. If you look at it closely, it gets caught on his right, like sort of Achilles.
Yeah,
so there was like 2 fouls on Sandro Martinez.
From a footballing perspective, you didn't want that Egyptian goal to be ruled out because it was brilliant. But I saw why it was. I thought the McAllister, contact was fleeting with the Egyptian inside the box. Was nowhere near the ball either.
Salah
and Salah was
Salah
was looking for it.
Exactly.
Don't blame him, but I thought he was looking for it. And Egypt should look at themselves. They're 2-0 up. Yeah. They're 11 or 12 minutes away. Well, a bit more than that with added time. They had an unbelievable opportunity. Yeah. And they just...
You've got to hang on, haven't you?
Grasp it.
I'm sorry, though, Jeff. Like, watching the game, mate, this is the difference when people try and compare Messi and Ronaldo. It's not about Ronaldo, but in one of his quietest games, he still turns up, Lionel Messi. Yeah. Very quiet first half. When his country, his nation needs him, forget about the penalty miss. Anyone can miss penalties. He turned up, gets on the ball, gets the first assist for Romero. And then if you look at the second goal, Jeff, he's literally, I've seen the close-up clip, he's screaming for the ball, give it me, crosses one, blocked, crosses it again. And that finish, do you know how hard that finish is, Jeff? That is not an easy finish. To keep that down, to even relax and not just come sprinting forward like most players were. Honestly, this guy, no words for him. And even forget the goal and assist. How many little runs did he have second half where he's like, okay, I've got to do this for my country. Incredible player.
But I think you're right. He was nowhere near his best.
No.
And if I'm Lionel Scaloni, I don't care whether he's Messi. I'm saying you're not taking penalties. No more penalties. His record wasn't great coming into this tournament. And now when you've missed 2 in a row, You know, he's got to have the cojones that Roberto Martinez didn't have.
Yeah.
And say to Messi, you
missed 4 out of 8, hasn't he? The World Cup?
Too many, and they've got
Excluding
penalty
penalty
takers. You know,
shootouts,
McAllister's a good penalty taker. You know, they've got penalty takers. So, but look, it was a breathtaking, wonderful, wonderful game. And by the way, the winning goal. It's a fantastic break, a wonderful cross, and what a header it was!
Incredible, yes.
As well, guided directly into the corner.
Not easy.
It wasn't easy.
Not easy at all.
Enzo Fernandez was the man who won it. Let's hear how that moment sounded on talkSPORT.
Lautaro Martinez is upfield, away on the right-hand side. He's got 2 racing forward to join it. One of them is Martinez, and Enzo Fernandez! Oh, yes! Argentina have done it in stoppage time! Enzo Fernandez with the crowning glory for Argentina. It feels like they've won the tournament already. Enzo Fernandez at the back post with the header, and Argentina just will not lie down.
I mean, it was an amazing comeback, and there was some great descriptions of Argentina afterwards. Roy Keane called them street fighters. Gary Neville says they have an indestructible spirit. But you know what? After 78 minutes, England were heading to a potential semi-final if they can beat Norway. Potential semi-final against Egypt or Switzerland.
Yes.
Wow.
Incredible though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we have to give Egypt credit and some of the teams in this tournament, Jeff, the way they are defending, because they look so organised, Egypt.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't just say like, oh yeah, we get everyone behind the ball and we try and... They were pressing at the right times. They weren't sat on the edge of their box. When the ball comes to a certain point, they were all pressing, fighting for their lives. They were a bit dirty at times as well, in a good way. So, Egypt, I thought they should be proud of their performance. Africa should be proud of the Egyptians' performance. But to concede 3 goals in the 79th minute, 83rd minute and 93rd minute, 40-minute 3 goals just shows what this Argentina side are made of.
Yeah.
But we'll come on to the negatives later on. Lisandro Martinez, very poor performance. The first goal, he's got to do better. You know, we talk about his height, and that's somewhere where if you're Switzerland or if you're England in the semi-final, you target him. And then the second goal, daydreaming, not looking at who's in the box as a defender. So I thought his performance wasn't great, and you can get at this Argentinian team, Jeff, defensively. They lack pace.
Neil in Wigan says Egypt would have won that game if their keeper didn't have biscuit wrists. Well, he had a great first half. He was absolutely outstanding, and then there's argument that he certainly could have saved at least one of the goals. But look, you know, the Egyptians are unhappy. A bit of controversy around that victory. For all of the fallout, head over to the talkSPORT Daily, where Joe Shannon and Mark McGee will discuss the controversy of VAR.
You know, how far back do you rewind it? Practically every, goal you could if you keep rewinding it, you'll come to a point somewhere. It may be 15 minutes earlier, but there'll be a point where there was a transgression that wasn't pulled up, and what do you cancel the goal then? It's getting ridiculous. And then what happened, of course, was they took the ball all the way back. The pitch will be, I don't know what the official size of the pitch is, probably 112 yards, something like that, maybe 114 yards, and they took it back 100 yards. It was like 10 yards from the touchline where the free kick, and Argentina could have scored from there. So it was like it could have been a complete turnaround.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Gabby? Because my view is I disagree as well.
Yeah, Lisandro Martinez gets fouled, and then they go straight and score on the counter attack.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like if it was 30 seconds, 50 seconds, it's the same move.
Yeah,
so
it's that same phase of the game.
Exactly.
Dead right,
if Lisandro Martinez wasn't fouled, they wouldn't have scored. So as much as people might say, oh, it's corruption, it's this and that, no, it's not. It was the right decisions from a strong referee, I thought, all night. Yeah,
completely agree. Argentina, look, I mean, every Englishman will have wished that Egypt would win that, that's for sure. But Argentina have come through against the odds. What did you think of the incidents that defined the game at the end? Do you think it should have been pulled back for a foul to Argentina there and that goal disallowed for for Egypt. I'm not sure it made any actual difference in the end because Egypt went on and scored their second goal anyway.
Exactly.
And did the Egyptians have a case that the Argentina winner should have been ruled out? Not for me, but you may well disagree. We're taking your calls all morning. 03717 223344 is the number. Coming up, are we doing ourselves a disservice by continuing to celebrate that win in Mexico? No, of course we're not. Michael Owen thinks so. More on that next.
Are you surprised that Barcelona signed Anthony Gordon? They've let Rashford go. They brought Anthony Gordon in. When you look at you just brought Barcelona into the equation. They're now looking at what they're looking at. They won the league last year. Madrid are coming again with better players and building again. Are you surprised they've gone out and spent 75 million quid on Anthony Gordon?
You know that Andy Gordon was in Everton and we promoted him a lot. So then I can say, yes, I am happy because he has gone. The prices, I don't talk about prices because football is crazy now with the prices. In terms of the potential of Anthony, I think Anthony, you know that he talks very good Spanish.
Indeed.
So he was learning Spanish. He was talking with us, with my staff, and after Newcastle also with the staff. So I think he has an advantage. And you can see the first game he didn't do well, but the last game he was doing much better with England.
Yeah.
He has pace. He can score goals. And the time that he was with us, I don't know if I told you about the story of Miami. We played a friendly in Miami against Millonarios de Bogotá, and it was very hot, very, very hot. And he was on the bench, and he came from the bench in the last 50 minutes, and he couldn't run after 50 minutes. So, sorry, in the second half, after 50 minutes, he couldn't run. And he was very hot. And then we were talking with him about his fitness, and then he said, oh, his pace is there. He's very good. He has 37 kilometers per hour, so he's really fast. The problem was his stamina. And then he started working specifically with his stamina, and he improved it a lot, and they sold them later on for 40 million. So I think at this time he was not going with the under-21s. And I was asking him, I said, Anthony, why you don't go with the under-21s? And he told me, because they didn't see me now, how I'm working now. So I think at this time, this period, I don't know in the last, if you say, a few months, his mentality was more a hard worker. And he had the talent, he has the ability. We have a game after the training sessions to finishing, and who was the best? And normally it was Richarlison and him. Always he was there with Richarlison. So means that he can finish, he can score goals, he has pace. What he has to be is more consistent.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, 20 minutes past 6 o'clock. It is Wednesday, July the 8th. This is the World Cup Breakfast Show with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor. Now it's time for this.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
So, do you want £26,000 of tax-free cash? Stupid question. England are through to celebrate the World Cup. We're giving away the big bucks. Head to talksportwin.com to enter. And now, time to take a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Kick off your day with a quality coffee on the go. Start with Costa Express.
And Laura Kirk-Francis is with us. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Morning, Laura.
Morning. How are we doing today? Good?
Yeah. I could have done without the local wine bar, restaurant, pub, whatever it was, filling up the bottle bank with all of their empties at 3 o'clock in the morning last night, directly outside my hotel room.
That noise.
Well, you've got a rest day today. There's no games tonight.
No.
So,
day
of freedom.
Yeah, whoa. The players have got rest day.
Yeah.
Gabby and we don't have a rest day.
That's true. We don't have a rest day. It doesn't stop here, does it?
No.
TalkSport. So the back page is obviously lots of coverage of Messi and Argentina. Sort of focus on how close Argentina were to going out, and it was a rescue mission, and also a focus on Messi's tears. So the Star, Messi's rescue mission, Lionel Messi dragged Argentina into the World Cup quarterfinals. The Times, Messi's tears of joy. The Sun have gone for the obvious one, don't cry for me, Argentina. Daily Express, all's well that ends well, ends for Enzo Fernandez. Of course, Messi miracle in the Daily Telegraph. How do we feel about watching Messi cry on the pitch? Are we overly cynical, or did that make you feel emotional?
No, cynical at all. That's real emotion of someone that missed the penalty, thought they was going to go out of the World Cup. They want to retain the World Cup, defend it. That was just proper emotion. That is an emotion that some people do for the cameras and play to the cameras. That was like relief. I love my country. I want to win this World Cup again. And I was nearly out. Mm-hmm. And he'll be afterwards thinking like, okay, we need to liven up now because that was too close to comfort.
Did you ever cry on the pitch, Gabby, during your playing career? Anything make you cry?
No. Few of the fans watching him did.
Yeah. The abuse I got, maybe of fans, maybe. No, never
cried.
When Messi does that, I was like emotional for him because he's won it all.
And you
won it all.
You didn't make it to Elephant and Castle last night, is that right?
I was drained.
You were drained from watching Messi?
From watching Messi, I was like, no way am I getting ready now and going anywhere. That was enough for me. So I just watched the Colombia game in my room.
Yeah, I have to say, when I was coming in this morning very early, I would obviously go through Elephant and Castle, and it was busy. They were still out despite their exit. Yeah, it was really, really busy.
Any elephants around?
Only the sort of statue in Elephant and Castle, but yeah, no elephants, but lots of Colombia fans still out on the streets. Michael Owen, in his Daily Mail column, has decided, I think, to take a bit of a swing at how we have reacted to that Arsenal Freudian slip there. That England result the other night. And he says, let's not confuse drama with quality. England must improve. He's basically dismissed the calls that it was brave. He says, I think we mistake what bravery in football is. We are celebrating players throwing themselves in front of shots as if they have gone to war. And he offers his own interpretation of bravery, which is real bravery is wanting the ball when 80,000 people are willing you to make a mistake. It's showing for possession when everyone else is hiding. It's taking the ball off your mate when he's in trouble, knowing if you lose it, you'll be criticised. That's football bravery, and that's what England need more of if they are going to win this World Cup. Jeff, do you think that's fair?
I think elements of it are fair. I think England do need to improve. I mean, I thought we were incredibly vulnerable for a little while just before half-time, particularly in aerial terms. I hate the use of the word heroics involved in sport. I think it's completely inappropriate. I know that wasn't the point he was making. But putting your body on the line, I mean, he says, the man in the pub will do that. Well, not everyone does. I mean, that is the truth of the matter. It does take a bit of bottle to do what Dan Burn did, and stand up and let the ball crash in front of you, almost get your head kicked off as well. And plenty of England players did just that. I've got a text in here saying, as a Newcastle fan, I can attest to the fact that Michael Owen thinks putting your body on the line is overrated, which is...
shots fired, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, we have to improve. Don't call it heroics, but I thought that England players did what they're paid to do, but they did it with something that made us proud of them.
Yeah, and I think in the context of how it made this country feel as well, this feels like quite a miserable take. I know that we need to start looking ahead to Norway and the improvements that we need on the pitch, but for the moment,
100%.
I think
let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate. It's Wednesday.
I totally disagree, Michael Owen. I feel that like players in that atmosphere, you know what I mean? Like everyone's talking about the altitude. You've got 80,000 Mexican fans. I think it is heroic in a way of like you getting on the ball, Jude Bellingham getting on the ball, Dan Burn throwing themselves up in front of shots, doing that for your country, knowing how much football means to this country. People are going through a tough time. It's not the best state at the moment, the country. And those players, I think, like, hold themselves in a high manner because that's what you want to see from your team. How many times have we been in tournaments where, you're playing against Mexico away. Okay, we don't want to turn up. Some players crumble. Every player, even the subs that come on, they perform. Yeah. So I think it was fantastic.
I mean, look, you know what? If we lose at any stage in this tournament, there'll be plenty of criticism, plenty of brickbats flying around for the players and the management. So why don't we wait till then?
Exactly, and we'll still
just
remember this stuff.
enjoy the fact that we're going well.
Yeah. Even if we go out in the quarters or the semis or whatever, the final we lose, people will remember the Mexico game. That'll be one of the games in 10 years. What about that for performance? 10 men. We didn't crumble. We defended with our lives, throwing our bodies in front of the line. Jordan Pickford coming out and punching, making great saves.
Yeah,
I think I think it was a proud moment for the country. And we've seen the phone calls the day afterwards.
Yeah.
People in tears, and I've been through this. I'm going through this tough time, and what that meant to be an Englishman.
Yeah. Do you also think if you flip this on its head in Argentina, for example, this morning, do you think they're complaining about the quality of their game yesterday? I don't think so. I think they're probably absolutely buzzing with the fact that they've come back. They're not writing columns about Messi not being brave. So I think we just need to appreciate it.
I totally agree.
Lighten up, Michael.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Those are your back pages.
Oh, wow.
That's it. It's Messi or nothing, basically, today.
There's only one story.
There's only one story today.
Novak Djokovic doesn't get a mention.
He'll get a mention when I come back, Jeff.
Okay.
We'll be talking about him in a bit.
Yeah. He was absolutely sensational.
I think Michael would be fun on a night out, wouldn't he?
He's the one who's saying, guys, it's midnight. Shall I get us an Uber home?
The pubs are up into 5:30. It's shocking. Why would you do that?
He's making sure everyone's getting a water in between.
He's just courting a little controversy. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, and we're all biting on it, but I think he's wrong.
Laura, thanks very much indeed. That was all thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, we find out which elite former boss of Anthony Gordon has been singing his praises. That's next on talkSPORT.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Kick off your day with a quality coffee on the go. Start with Costa Express.
In Miami this Saturday, Inter won Erling Haaland, who got a couple of goals, and Brazil exited the tournament. Haaland signed a 9.5-year contract last January that keeps him at Manchester City until 2034. And Alpha Inge Haaland, Erling's dad, spoke to the Zone ahead of the match, Simon, at the weekend. And he said, well, Real Madrid, he says he's very happy at Manchester City. He's got a long contract. We're waiting for the new season, but anyone would want to play for Madrid. You never know what can happen in football, that dreadful phrase that's used so often. But does Guardiola's departure, Simon, make Haaland's City future any less secure, do you think?
Well, I don't know what his relationship will be with Maresca, because we know we had a relationship with Guardiola. He signed for Guardiola. He didn't sign for this fellow. So there might always be a change. There might be a drop-off in City. Maresca might not be the person capable of delivering City the outcomes that they've become accustomed to.
Yeah.
Albeit last couple of years they haven't won a title. They'll soon get back in the saddle. That can be clear, given they've spent £130 million on a central midfield player. Their ambitions are clearly in that direction. He will go, in my view, to Real Madrid. Tragically, that seems to be the destination of all the big players. So at some point, do I see him serving out his 9.5-year contract? No. It doesn't matter. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when.
I mean, you might say insecurity is almost impossible with a 10-year deal, though, isn't it?
I don't think that kid suffers from any insecurity, do you? I mean, I've encountered him firsthand. I don't think he suffers from any insecurity. He might suffer from a lack of manners, but he doesn't suffer from any insecurity. He is a hell of a player.
But in terms of City's hold on him?
Not really. That just commands... So if Erling Haaland walks into XYZ person's office at Manchester City and says, I don't want to play for you anymore, and I really don't want to play for you.
What is the World Cup's most controversial moment? Hurst's goal, which definitely was a goal? Zidane's headbutt? Ronaldo's hell scare in '98? Nah, it's obviously Maradona's hand of God. Mexico City, 1986. England are set to take on Argentina in the World Cup quarter-finals. Both sides have won their group, and both are well fancied to lift the trophy. This game means more. Just 4 years on from the end of the Falklands War, and the hatchet has very much not been buried. It's a physical match, with Diego Maradona taking the brunt of a strong-handed approach from England's defenders. Despite a few early chances from England, Argentina are well on top, but luckily for the Three Lions, Peter Shilton's having a good day between the sticks. At half-time, it's goalless. 6 minutes after the break, the ball was played to the edge of the area. Steve Hodge sliced his clearance, and it headed back towards his own goal. Up went Maradona's left hand, and he punched it into the net. He wheeled away in celebration, urging his teammates to join him, while the England team was furiously surrounding referee Ali bin Nasser of Tunisia. Even decades later, Peter Shilton hadn't forgiven Maradona. Argentina won 2-1 and went on to lift the World Cup trophy. I mean, without the hand of God, we might never have got the song Three Lions. But we'd have another World Cup.
Yeah, very good morning to you. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. That's been an incredible summer so far, hasn't it, for Anthony Gordon, following his big money move to Barcelona. A lot of eyebrows raised over that. And his brilliant display against Mexico in the Azteca at the World Cup. His former Everton manager, Rafa Benitez, was on White and Jordan yesterday. He claims it's sheer hard work that has got Gordon to where he is today.
His pace is there. He's very good. He has 37 kilometers per hour, so he's really fast. The problem was his stamina. And then he started working specifically with his stamina, and he improved it a lot, and they sold them later on for 40 million. So I think at this time he was not going with the under-21s. And I was asking him, I said, Anthony, why you don't go with the under-21s? And he told me, because they didn't see me now, how I'm working now. So I think at this time, this period, I don't know in the last, if you say, a few months, his mentality was more a hard worker. And he had the talent, he has the ability. We have a game after the training sessions to finishing, and who was the best? And normally it was Richarlison and him. Always he was there with Richarlison. So means that he can finish, he can score goals, he has pace. What he has to be is more consistent. If he can do that, he can play in Barcelona.
Do you think he can play in Barcelona?
I can see Anthony Gordon having one season at Barcelona and not lasting there. I don't know why, Jeff. I just look at the way that Barcelona play, and Anthony Gordon's attributes is that Barcelona. I mean, Marcus Rashford done okay last season when he played, but that starting team is always going to be Rafinha, isn't it? On that left-hand side, Yamal on that right-hand side. How much football would he get? So it's going to be difficult for him, but I'm sure he'll want to prove all his critics wrong. And maybe there's a reason why they paid 70 million for him. I just don't see him as a Barca player, to be honest.
I mean, Rafa mentioned his consistency, and he was brilliant against Mexico. Let's not get that wrong. Brilliant against Mexico. But he hasn't been consistent in this tournament. None of the wingers have been consistent.
Exactly. Need back-to-back performances, don't we?
Yeah.
A lot of the players.
That's right.
Not
We
just
do.
Gordon.
Yeah, but from Anthony Gordon's point of view, I'm certain he's going to start against Norway.
Yes.
And we need a similar performance from him.
100%.
Okay, let's head to the phone lines for a moment or two. Stuart is an Everton fan who wants to talk about Argentina. Morning, Stuart.
Morning, Stuart.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabs. How you doing? You all right?
Oh,
yeah,
well, mate.
good, mate. Do you enjoy the game? The Argentina game?
Brilliant. It was brilliant. I mean, I only listen to it because I do a lot of driving. To win 3-2, bang the quid on, everyone's a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very nice, eh?
Even if they'd have gone 3 down, which they could have done if that goal got disallowed for Egypt, I reckon they'd still have won at 3 down because they just had the spirit to go.
Yeah. You felt as soon as they got one back, didn't you? You know, that they were going to go on and win it, John?
No, I banged it at 2-0.
Sorry?
When they were I put it on when they were 2-0 down.
Yeah.
Look, what a game.
Yeah, it was one of the games of the tournament, and there have been some great games in this tournament as well. No question about that. Look, I'm speaking through my wallet as well because I backed Argentina in the whole kit and caboodle at 10-1. So, John, thanks very much indeed.
Right, have a good day.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot. Sorry, Stuart, it was not John. Thanks. Sorry, Stuart. Got your name completely wrong. No wonder you sound a bit puzzled, mate. Argentina are through to the last 8. Colombia not. Beaten on penalties by Switzerland. That would have been some game, wouldn't it? Argentina against
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah. So it's Argentina against Switzerland, 2 a.m. this Sunday.
No problem.
Live on talkSPORT. Let's cross over to live to Brazil now. And South American football expert John Cotterill. Morning, John.
Morning, John.
Good morning.
Wow. Look, let's talk Argentina for a moment or two, you know. I didn't think it was Messi's best game by a long way. But as soon as he starts to play, Argentina play.
Yeah, it's a great escape, isn't it? Really, they left it a little late. Was it 11 minutes to go when they were trailing by 2 goals down, and the punter, was it Steve, put his money on, or so he says, and earned himself just a nice little payoff in the end. But yeah, they rocked. They were going out, weren't they, Argentina? And suddenly Messi inspired. He gets the cross in for the first goal, and then scores that fabulous kind of half volley, and Argentina on the way with that wonderful cross delivery from the right-hand side, which is nodded in by Fernandes, just to put them on the way into the semi-finals. So yeah, terrific quarterfinals even.
Even before the assist and the goal, Messi he got into the game, didn't he? He started taking his players on that right-hand side, and the chance for Lautaro Martinez where he goes on that mazy run, Messi. That's what a 39-year-old can still do because of the quality that he's got. But do you worry about Argentina going forward defensively? Because I thought Lisandro Martinez was shaky for both goals.
Yeah, he was. He was at fault, wasn't he, for the first goal?
Yeah.
The ball just knocked into the air. He just beaten so easily in the air. Whether or not he didn't make the leap for me. So perhaps he wasn't quite switched on.
Yeah.
But Argentina, we know they can score, but we know also that they're very, very vulnerable to goals as well. So it was shaky. And Messi did strike the post with a free kick. Just kissed the upright as well early on in that game. So yeah, he wasn't at his best, but when he had to produce, he produced in the end. And Argentina got through, but only just.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking a moment or two ago, John, and saying, well, Argentina weren't at their best, but who has been at their best throughout the tournament so far? And one thing about Argentina, Gary Neville said it last night, they have an indestructible spirit. They relish playing for that shirt.
They do indeed. The travelling fans, they're very, very different as well from the Brazil travelling fans. Many of the Brazilians live in the US. That's one factor. It's a different kind of fan, often labelled as football tourists, I'm afraid, because the fans who go watch Brazil when they're playing in these kind of tournaments are very different from the fans who watch them in the domestic tournaments. But the Argentina fans, you get the impression that these guys and girls, these are the ones who travel up, these are the ones who drive up from Argentina when they're playing in Brazil or also in South America. So they're there in their thousands, quite literally. I'm sure thousands travelled without tickets as well. So it's a different set, but they do believe.
I think as well, when you look at the performance from Argentina, even when Lautaro Martinez comes on, I thought Alvarez as well, the work rate, Enzo Fernandez, how difficult that header was, sprinting the length of the pitch to get in the box, the cross from Lautaro Martinez. That fighting spirit, even if you are weak defensively, that can be enough, can't it, to go and win the World Cup again?
Yeah, the old expression, we're going to score more
exactly.
than you. So it's great to watch. They play some games, but again, Cape Verde in the last round and Egypt in this round. With respect to those two sides, teams which Argentina were expected to railroad over didn't happen. So I wonder what's going to happen in the next phase as well when they come up against the Swiss.
Well, look, I mean, I'll tell you what, it was after the Lord Mayor's show, wasn't it, big time when we got to Switzerland against Colombia. And the Colombians have gone out. And I just wonder whether ultimately fear of losing cost them that game.
No, I think for me it was fear of scoring. They couldn't score, basically. They scored, was it 5 goals in this tournament? 3 of them were against Uzbekistan. Scoring was always a problem for Colombia, even though they did pretty well inside the South American qualifiers. They just couldn't score. They had the chances. They had, some good chances to put this game to bed against the Swiss, but they couldn't manage it, and that's what ultimately caused them in the end. It was a game, it was a competitive game. It wasn't the same level as the Argentina-Egypt game, but it was full of huff and puff and energy and determination, but the lack of goals was the problem for the Colombians.
I do think it's going to be tough for Argentina as well, though, because I watched the game in Switzerland, organised defensively. I thought Akanji was excellent. I thought Xhaka in the midfield as well. Even Embolo up front was holding the ball up. They made it difficult for Colombia, didn't they?
They did indeed, and they were missing that Johan Manzabi as well, who was injured, the 20-year-old. So I'm not sure if he's going to be fit for the next game, but if he's fit, then Switzerland could pose a threat. Yeah. I was talking to colleagues down in Buenos Aires, and they were kind of happy that they're not playing Colombia because they feel that Colombia knows them a bit better. Yes. Whereas Switzerland is more of a dark horse, but, it's been a while, isn't it? 1954 since Switzerland had been at this stage in the competition. That was at home in the World Cup and was only 16 teams. So Switzerland, who knows what's going to happen with them.
Okay. John, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, John.
Pleasure.
South American football expert John Cottrell there. Argentina left flying the South American flag.
I know.
Let's take a quick call from one John to another. John's a Manchester United fan. He wants to chat Argentina. Morning to you, John.
Morning, John.
Morning, Gabby. Morning, Jeff.
Yeah, enjoy the game?
I thought the game was brilliant. I've got 2 different looks at the thing. The first thing was the game was won and lost on Egypt's own bad play as well as good play, with the goalkeeper was a shambles for the whole 3 goals. And I just think that they could have won it, but they also had to fight against the refereeing decisions and VAR. Now, if you look at Argentina's whole games throughout the whole tournament, them plus 2 other teams are the only teams that's had 3 yellow cards. That's all they've had. We're talking about Argentina here. Now, you can look at this in a way of, are they getting refereeing decisions and help with VAR as well? Because last night, there was 3 tackles where at least 3 Argentinian players should have been yellow carded. Tagliafico going through the back of Zico, and you look at the Declan Rice one after 6 minutes and think, what's going on here? And then also the VAR, one of the VAR decisions that they didn't get, which McAllister brought down an Egyptian player which was off the ball, which, you know, VAR chose not to look at and they should have, which I just think VAR pick and choosing when they get involved, as well as I think Argentina.
I think you're searching for it, John. I feel like you're searching for excuses for Argentina not to go through.
John, it's a terrible line, so we're going to have to leave it there. But do appreciate the call. I think that was in the Premier League, by the way. The McAllister stuff, they would call that fleeting contact.
Yeah, it's not. It
fleeting
wasn't
contact.
Well. I think it's harsh as well with the goalkeeper because the first goal, yes, the second goal, like Messi's half volleyed it.
I think he got a hand to it, which made people think.
Yeah, but with that power from so close, that's a difficult save. You can't. And the third goal, how's he meant to save that?
No goalkeeper's getting anywhere near
the
that.
The first one only for me. You can't blame the keeper, especially after the penalty save, the save from Alvarez in the first half as well. So he made some fantastic saves.
Yeah, he did. I thought maybe he's got his hands to the Messi goal. Maybe he could have done a little better that, but it was hit, with such venom and taken so quickly as well that I understood why he didn't save it. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
So Lionel Messi missed a penalty. Got to take him off them. But he's still the top scorer in the tournament. Can the world champions go back to back? The former Newell's Old Boys teammate of Messi, Mati Fondato, joins us in half an hour's time to discuss just that. Plus, we'll hear from the former Nigerian captain, William Troost Ekong, to discuss the performance of African teams at the World Cup. Of course, Morocco still going strong. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
England were victorious at the Azteca. Wow, what a game. We dug deep and we got it done. Heroic performances all over the park. We are in to the quarterfinals. How good was Jude?
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
The
used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Yeah, very good morning to you. It is 6:51, Wednesday, July the 8th. This is World Cup Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby Agbonlahor's with me. Headlines this Wednesday morning. Fulham have appointed Alvaro Arbeloa as their new manager on a 3-year contract. Bit of a gamble, do you think, Gabby?
Big gamble. I think Fulham struggle. Marco Silva got every little bit he could out of those Fulham players. Lost Harry Wilson as well. I think it's going to be difficult for Arbeloa. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the best, mate.
Absolutely. I think Marco Silva was brilliant. He's certainly a loss to the Premier League. That is for sure. And, of course, Fulham have lost Harry Wilson as well. Key player for them. A full team of Argentinian officials have been appointed for France's quarter-final against Morocco tomorrow evening. It's live on talkSPORT.
That won't go down well.
No.
The rivalry, isn't it, from the last one?
You just got to believe in their neutrality, haven't you? And the proposed heavyweight fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will only take place at Wembley Stadium if local authorities agree to a later than usual start time, according to the promoters. We want the fight here in England, they say, but we want the time zone of all the world, especially in America. Don't think they're going to get that.
No chance. What time will that be then? 3 in the morning?
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, you have to take into account local people at times and what impact it's going to have on their life.
What time's the World Cup on?
Yeah.
World Cup hasn't been nice to Europe, has it?
No, of course it hasn't.
We're staying until 2 a.m. to watch it, is what it is.
Yeah. So it's Saturday Fight Night on DAZN this Saturday. Megan Redstall and Maisie Rose Courtney fight for the vacant WBO International Flyweight title. Have you seen Maisie Rose Courtney before?
Yeah, great fighters.
Yeah, live from Brentwood in Essex. Join DAZN Ultimate and get 185 plus fight nights and access to 12 plus pay-per-view events every year, including Anthony Joshua against Prenga on July 25 at no extra cost.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Iconic theme tune, isn't it? It is, of course, the second week of Wimbledon. By now, all British interest has usually ended, but not so. With Arthur Ferry still going strong, I think, from a Wimbledon perspective. Arthur Ferry and Novak Djokovic, they're the two big draws in the face of the World Cup. Laura's back with us in the studio. What are you got to talk about, Laura?
I am. I'm here to give you an update on the sporting hobby of hummus and avocado lovers, as you
absolutely
discussed yesterday.
I like both of those things, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
Hummus in particular.
Yeah, I'm partial to hummus. I think there are superior dips, but I do like hummus.
Yeah. Do you like avocado? I think you look like an avocado girl to me.
Yeah. Do I'll take that as a compliment, Jeff. I'm partial to it. It's okay. I think it's only good if you basically layer it with salt and other flavours, which diminishes the actual point of it. We are going to talk about Wimbledon and Djokovic in particular, who was fantastic yesterday. He is in the hunt for a 25th Grand Slam. And here is what he had to say after he finished that epic 5-setter last night.
I wish it was finals, so I don't need to worry about how the body will feel tomorrow. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I won. Just another semi-final for me. I'm gonna look at all the numbers and everything when I finish my career. Right now, it's all business. I still have to recover. I'm still in the tournament, and I have a best player in the world in a few days' time.
He was so exhausted he could barely speak.
Barely speak. Well, here are some numbers for you. So he was on court for 5 hours, 15 minutes. The first set alone, 79 minutes. And he faces Jannik Sinner in the semi-final. The head-to-head between them is very, very close, actually. Djokovic beat Sinner at the Australian Open earlier this year. He's also 14 years older than Jannik Sinner, which I think makes these achievements just so impressive. And by the time Sinner played in his first Grand Slam, which was back in 2019, Djokovic had already won 16 Grand Slams. So it is a kind of passing of the guard type of matchup. Jeff, why do you think Djokovic is perhaps not loved as much as some of the other champions that we've seen?
He is in England. They
yeah.
love him at Wimbledon, and I think that's why he loves playing here.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he's had success here. As well, look, he's courted controversy right throughout his career, hasn't he? Personally,
You're a fan.
Yeah, massive. I was thinking last night, you know, if I had the chance to meet a sportsman who I've not met before, Novak Djokovic might be at the top of that list, you know, because I think he's got a charisma, Gabby, that a lot of tennis players these days don't have, you know. A lot of them are sort of a bit metronomic.
What would you ask him if you could interview him, Jeff? What would you want to hear from him about? How is he still going at 39?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously,
it's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, look at Ronaldo, Messi. These elite stars.
When he got to the tie-break last night, I expected him to win. Expected him to win because of his know-how, his cunning, his experience. And again, he was 14 years older than Felix Auger-Aliassime, who was the opponent. And it's higher ranked than him, you know.
That's why you talk about the person as well. I went for some lunch yesterday with a friend, and he said that a few years ago, he's seen Djokovic, and he asked him for a picture, and Djokovic put his hand up and says, like, 5 minutes. And they didn't think he'd come
back.
Do it.
Yeah.
He come over to them 10 minutes later and says, "You want a picture, guys?" And took a picture. And when you're that level of a celeb, a lot of them are just like, no, can't do that. If you have one, they're gonna want one. So it just shows sort of person he is, humble that he come over and took that picture with them.
Is that what happens to you when people ask you for a photo?
Yeah. It doesn't happen anymore. I don't know why. I'll get chased around London.
A few years ago, I was in Croatia and we'd gone for a little boat cruise one day, very small.
Oh, fancy
boat. And it was almost like a fishing boat. Anyway, they dropped us off at this tiny Croatian island. It had one taverna and no other buildings, okay, and a pebble beach. And on that pebble beach, actually swimming just offshore when we got there, was one Novak Djokovic. And when it came back on shore, the guys in the boat said to us, he comes to this particular place every year. He stays in that modest taverna for a couple of weeks, and he'll sign absolutely everybody's autograph. And my wife said, let's go and get his autograph. And I took one glance at Novak Djokovic signing autographs in his Speedos and thought, let's leave it. Let's leave it. But even though, you know, it's not his own country, Croatia, obviously, but, you know, I thought there people can relate to him.
Yes, 100%. Legend of sport.
I think he's won more fans in the kind of twilight of his career than when he was perhaps in that sort of trio of Nadal, Federer. He was kind of like the disruptor, and we're all so in love with that Nadal-Federer rivalry. It felt like, can you just wait? Can you just wait in the wings for your chance? But
I like about him as well. Even the controversy they probably won't get into. He wasn't forced to do what he wanted to do. My body, my rules. Don't like it.
In terms of the vaccine.
Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it. Not my problem.
Yeah,
no problem. I like that in him. I'm not going to be a sheep. I'm not going to do what like people want me to do. I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it, certainly. But yeah, so he faces Jannik Sinner in the semi-final, which will be fantastic. Arthur Ferry is on court today as well. He expected about 3 o'clock today. He's after the women's quarter-final. What do you think his chances are, Jeff?
Yeah, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a chance that the boy he's playing, Kabali, was French Open runner-up, wasn't he? So he can play. But I think Ferry's got a win to his name over him. I think it could be a cracking game. You know what? I mentioned that Djokovic, he's flying the flag for the experienced amongst us. Well, Arthur Ferry's flying the flag for the sort of short houses amongst us, isn't he? Because he's not your archetypal tennis player, 5'9", where most of them are absolute giants these days.
Yes.
He's lit the tournament up. I hope he does well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Just quickly on the women's side as well, Coco Gauff is through, Osaka is out. So this feels like it could be a very good opportunity for Coco Gauff to win her first Wimbledon.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Another different Wimbledon women.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, exactly.
Laura, thanks very much indeed.
Brilliant, thank you.
Just after 7 o'clock coming up, we'll ask a former Argentinian player whether it's time to take Messi off penalties.
The fact that Gonzalo Ramos, who scored the winner in the last round against Croatia, didn't get on the pitch says it all. Ronaldo, not his fault because he wants to play and the manager's playing him, but he cost Portugal this World Cup. And there'll be a lot of players, your Fernandes, your Neves, your Vitinha, Mendes, they'll be looking and thinking, legend of a player for the country, but because of him, we're going home.
Yeah. And as you say, the manager's seeming fear of substitute. I mean, takes off, the likes of Vitinha and Neto and so on. And you say Ramos sitting on, even when Spain take the lead and there's 5 minutes or so of added time to come, still will not put Gonzalo Ramos on.
I don't know if they'd run out of substitutions windows.
Had they?
I think they might have. I'm not 100% sure on that to bring him on that late. But it's just a shame to see sometimes. Do you remember the famous words from, was it Jamie Carragher to Casemiro? Leave the football for the football leaves you. You look at Ronaldo now and you're like, if I was the next Portugal manager, I'm only taking the job if he is not in the squad. That's the level I'm going to.
Here's a thought for you. Roberto Martinez is leaving as Portugal manager. We all know that. How about Cristiano Ronaldo as the next Portugal manager?
Wouldn't surprise me. Plays himself every game for the next 5 tournaments.
He didn't have to play himself because then he's still at the forefront of everything.
Yeah, it was just the walking for me, Jeff. The lack of pressing, the lack of offering anything, and throwing his arms up at his players. Even after the final whistle, he stood there. It's the Ronaldo show. He's not going.
The 1982 World Cup gave us maybe the biggest redemption story in football. But to truly appreciate the rise of Paolo Rossi, we also have to understand his fall. 4 years earlier, in 1978, a 21-year-old Rossi was the next big thing in Italian football. His poacher's instinct in front of goal earned him a reputation, and he was constantly surrounded. Despite that, Rossi scored 3 goals as Italy secured a 4th-place finish. Then, in 1980, Italy was rocked by one of the most famous match-fixing scandals in football history, Toto Nero. It started when a market trader in Rome approached a restaurant owner whose venue was popular with professional footballers. The plan was simple: run an illegal betting operation where the public placed bets, not knowing that the players who ate at the restaurant were getting a cut to deliver certain results. The house and the players would always win. And it was all being run out of a Roman eatery. When a whistleblower went to the police, though, Rossi was suspended from football for 3 years. He consistently denied being involved and eventually had his ban reduced to 2 years. That allowed him to join Juventus for the final 3 games of the 82 season and win Serie A. And in those 3 games, Italy manager Enzo Bezzo saw a spark. Rossi was included in the World Cup squad and then the starting 11. In the groups, he did nothing. No goals, no assists, and the Italian public was begging for him to be dropped. Bear in mind, he played the likes of Peru and Cameroon and okay, Argentina. By the way, spot the very young Diego Maradona. Then, out of nowhere, he got a hat-trick against Brazil, another 2 in the semi-finals, and the opener in the final. Not only did he lift the trophy, he won the Golden Boot and the Golden Ball. It was maybe the biggest one-tournament turnaround the World Cup has ever seen. The whole story is so gloriously Italian, and considering he never played in a World Cup ever again, maybe it's one of football's greatest fairy tales.
Morning to you, just coming out to 7 minutes past 7, Wednesday, July the 8th. Rest day in the World Cup, but not on World Cup breakfast.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
No footballs. Ooh.
No football. What are you going to do tonight?
Well, I'm going to watch the tennis this afternoon. And maybe tonight, early bed.
Yeah.
Force myself to get an early sleep.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's a long match as well, you know. It's not going to start till 3 or later, you know.
Yep, looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah. I was having a glimpse at Love Island. Haven't really seen much of this series, you know. It's been.
You watch that, Jeff?
Yeah, you've from time to time.
Yeah, I want to put you watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me, mate.
It's just that, like, yeah, I only watch it because Greeno the Postie tells me to in his frequent texts. You know, I know he's going to ask me about it, so I haven't watched it. But I haven't really seen much of. I haven't seen much of this series at all because it clashes with the World Cup. This is World Cup Breakfast then with Arnold Clark, the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Still on the way for you this morning. Bring you everything to know about the British tennis star Arthur Ferry. Greg Rosetsky will be joining us a little later. Remember, you can watch and listen to Greg's exclusive talkSPORT podcast, Off Court, on our YouTube channel and your favourite providers. And former Premier League ref Chris Foy joins us to discuss officiating at the World Cup. And now, though, let's look back on Argentina's comeback victory against Egypt and round up all the latest action with Burger King.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Everybody's here to see the stars come out to play. And the header is in from Ibrahim! Plays it through to Taliafico. Caught in the area, penalty. Left-footed, saved! Messi lacking his majesty. Through here to Zico! VAR checking and the referee has gone to the monitor. Argentina escaped. It is 2 now! It is Zico! That one will count! Left-footed ball in. Header in! This time they get one back. Romero coming in the shot. Messi! It is in! It is 2-2! It is Messi! Master of all he surveys! And Enzo Fernandez! Oh yes! Argentina have done it in stoppage time!
Unbelievable. We have just witnessed one of the greatest World Cup comebacks.
It was an absolutely sensational game. Egypt 2-0 up. Coming into the 79th minute, not enough. The Egypt manager Hassan was fuming afterwards. He thought he'd seen a foul on Mo Salah and actually one on McAllister in the build-up to Argentina's winner. We didn't think so, did we, guys?
No way. Well, I will say, Jeff, if you can, listen to the Argentinian commentary for all 3 goals.
Yeah.
There was Tevez and Aguero on one of them with the commentator. Wow. Incredible.
But the Egyptian manager said afterwards, "We were robbed in broad daylight. The referee completely ruined our dream." I'll tell you what, they have a prospect there in that Hassim Hassan. Wow. Plays the Serie B side, Real Oviedo at the moment. The agents will be queuing up at his door this morning because he was brilliant.
Yes.
And, of course, the game changed when he went off.
Yes, very good player. Direct, quick.
Wasn't he?
Close control.
Wasn't he just?
That run was something special. Even the assist for the second goal.
Yeah, brilliant.
Take you on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. But Argentina are through against all odds, really. For more on what was an absolute classic, we're joined by the former Newell's Old Boys defender, Matty Fondato. Morning, Matty.
Morning, Matty.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. So, how did your boys do that then?
Well, it was just a crazy day. Imagine 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go, and but you know, I think it showed the kind of character, like it's a very Argentinian culture thing, you know, resilience and never give up. And for me, one of the most important games of this generation of players, obviously after the World Cup final last World Cup.
Matty, talk to us about Lionel Messi though, because he has scored now in 9 successive World Cup games. Where do you start with him?
I mean, there's not many words to say about him. You know, we can. I mean, the guy is 39. The guy is performing every single game. Probably, you know, after playing 120 minutes last game, he wasn't. It wasn't his best fitness, but you can tell how he walks, he scans the pitch, how he's always. And today he showed this kind of character once again after missing a penalty. So I don't even know what to say. You know, it's just I can't stop being surprised and being amazed by this guy. We all are.
If you're Scaloni, though, are you going to Lionel Messi and saying, you might be Lionel Messi, but you're not taking our penalties anymore?
That was the one of the main conversations with all of my friends and everyone today. You know, it's like it's a very strange one, because how can you tell Messi not to, you know, to do that? But I think he's being that humble. I think even himself might make things easier to everyone and say like, okay, the next one somebody else do it, or you know, it's not a guy that needs to score goals to prove anything to anyone. So you know, it's a strange one. I wouldn't mind if he wants to do it, but
yeah,
you know, for me it's the same. We just forgive him everything.
I think as well, Matty, when you look at that emotion after the game, you know, for a player that has won everything possible in football, already won the World Cup, to be so emotional that his team have got through against Egypt, that just shows the levels of commitment he's got to his country, doesn't it?
100%. And again, I'm telling you, it's about a culture thing. It's about you for sure. You had like some Argentinian teammates in your career, or you know some people. It's like, for us, football is it's a life or death thing. It's like, you know, we're giving everything, and this hunger, the need of love winning, but I think even more like hate losing. So, and the image that the team was having in them 80 minutes, besides we have some chances, but it's like we cannot leave the World Cup like this. So that show of character, it's totally related with a culture thing.
Hey, Matty, we shouldn't take anything for granted, but if you beat Switzerland and we beat Norway, it's an Argentina-England semi-final. Now, that is special.
You must be scared, Matty.
It's special. Well, we both should be, I think, for different reasons.
Yeah.
But it's always a big game. It's been a big game in every time we play each other. So I'm looking forward actually, but we'll have 2 tough games to be honest, because Switzerland showed today, Holland, with Norway. So hopefully we both go through. Unfortunately, we have one of us have to
There's going to be extra VAR as well. Apparently, VAR officials are going to be 2 extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in case.
What do you say, because of the hand?
Yes.
Matty, enjoy the days before the quarterfinal. It was an absolutely brilliant game. We loved watching it, mate.
Thank you, Matty.
Thank you very much, guys, for sharing the time with me.
It's a pleasure. Matty Fondata, former Newell's Old Boys player, played with Messi in actual fact as well. Guy in Worcester says, Gabby, why do we need to listen to Argentinian commentators when we've got Big Joe Shannon on comms? I love how excited he gets. Guy, I'm absolutely with you. And
Listen to both. How about that?
I think you might get a bit confused. And an anonymous texter, you should put your name on it because you're right. It just said to me, I'm sure Real Oviedo play in Spain, not Italy, Jeff. You are right, sir, or madam. Languages, I've never been a linguist, not my strong point. Segunda Division, that's where the Hassim Hassan plays his football with Real Oviedo. You are spot on. Coming up, Gabby's been making a lot of enemies. No. Oh, in the world of Tottenham social media. Now I get it. More on that next, and that was thanks to Burger King.
The Breakfast Briefing on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Mate, how are you?
What's up with your moustache?
That keeps falling off.
Yeah.
What's happened?
That's a good tash.
I don't know whether it is.
Good tash.
Falling off the side of my chops.
Mate.
Killing me. Honestly, I got the...
Oh, dear.
Oh, my rat.
Mate, sort your moustache out.
I can't help it, Jay.
It's all over the place.
A little bit like their defence. It's not happening. There you go.
There you go. It's a good tash.
Jay, yours, mate. Yours looks like... That's Graham's suit. That's peak Souness.
Peak Souness, that, and it mean business.
Yeah, it does mean business.
I mean business in the middle of the park, mate. Don't be messing with me.
Oh, my word.
How you feeling?
Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to complain about being tired. Forget tired. Tired. Forget that. I'm not complaining. My tash. What's happened to the tash, mate? It's not sticking. Forget. I'm not going to say the word about being tired.
No.
Because it comes with being a proper football fan. You stayed up last night and you watched that game and you went through the absolute ecstasy and agony in equal measure. You deserve a round of applause.
Yeah.
You deserve a round of applause, mate.
It was unbelievable.
That was just...
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff.
It
had everything. That game had everything.
Mate, it was pure theatre.
It really was.
It was, and I've always said football, it's the greatest game in the world, but with live sport, you do get that. But in terms of unscripted drama, football can't be touched. Because what we went into, the lion's den, it was a bear pit.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Never lie. What's happened? What's happened? Mate, it's offside. Part of your tash is offside, Jay.
Yeah.
It's offside. Jay, VR's getting involved.
ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Well, it might be. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor. Of course, England against Mexico. This Saturday, are you back at the SI warehouse?
Yes, I am.
Fan zone,
yeah, this SI warehouse at Villa Park. Looking forward to it. Done a couple of games so far in the tournament, Jeff. The atmosphere is electric. Special DJ, bands playing as well, and it's always good to watch the game with England fans. Fans from every club as well. You've got so many clubs in the Midlands that are their fan bases. Even people who have been travelling from Dorset, travelling from Manchester and London that I've spoken to there. So looking forward to it, mate. One of the biggest screens in the country. So it would be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. And if you want to join Gabby there, head to talksport.com/fanzone to secure a ticket. talksport.com/fanzone. Just before we move on, I got a tweet from Wollaston Village FC. I'm in touch with quite a lot. They boast a fat back four in their side. And they say, our pre-season training starts this Thursday. Can you ask Gabs what his favourite and least favourite things about pre-season were?
Okay, there's no favourite. So I'll say least favourite was when managers used to take us to the countryside in Germany or Austria, middle of nowhere, no distractions, and just run you ragged. Blisters non-stop. Whole body's aching, especially in my last couple of years. Yeah, do not like pre-season.
Hey, here's an invitation for you, because Wollaston Village FC said maybe Gabby could come along and take part in our pre-season.
No. I'll come on a bike. I'll get my mountain bike and join them.
Yeah, lovely. Good luck, boys, anyway. I hope you have a brilliant season.
Good luck.
Time now for this.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Kick off your day with a quality coffee on the go. Start with Costa Express.
And Laura Kirk-Francis is back with us. Hi again, Laura.
Hello, Laura Kirk-Francis.
I'm back. Do you want some good news ahead of England's game?
Yeah.
Another good omen. The Sun reporting that remains of the king who beat the Vikings has been found. It comes just days before the Norway game. Alfred the Great omen. The lost remains of Alfred the Great have been found.
Why is that good for you? Good for us? Shouldn't it be good for the Norwegians?
This is a good question, Jeff. I think if you remember Leicester winning the title, was there not a king found somewhere in a car park, and then they won the title? So I think that's probably what they're getting at. Yeah.
A lot of kings flying around.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Well, King Richard's not flying around. He was under a car park.
He's quite dead.
The last thing he was doing was flying.
He's quite dead.
People were parking their cars on top of him.
Look, I mean, we've got to take everything that we can. I think we're scraping the barrel with that one. No, we're actually going to talk about you today, Gabby.
Why?
You today.
I've done nothing wrong.
You've done nothing wrong. No. So just a couple of things. In the past days, you've really had a bit of a bee in your bonnet. Can I say bee in your bonnet when you're bored? Maybe I can't.
You can, yeah.
Okay. You've said Sandro Tonali has gone for the money. Spurs have finished 17th twice in a row. They can spend. You don't like that. If you're the owners, you should be able to spend. And this has provoked a bit of a backlash. Personally, I'm just happy that you're not crying about Arsenal anymore. Ricky Sachs, the host of the Last Word on Spurs podcast, had this to say. You're about to hear.
A message for Gabriel Agbonlahor. Gabby, you silly little boy. What are you talking about? Tottenham Hotspur, they're a club with that stadium that is generating money week in, week out. And you know what? We're absolutely loving it right now. We've got that stadium packed out with concerts, with entertainment every single week during the off-season. And I don't want to worry you, but there's more money where that's coming. And the fact of the matter is that whether you like it or not, Tottenham aren't back. This is a new Tottenham. So sorry, Gabby, we're massive and we can do what we want when we want because the money is there.
Gabby Agbonlahor, would you like to respond to Ricky Sachs live on the radio?
Not really. I like Ricky when he comes on. He's funny, to be fair. But it's just fun, wasn't it, when Spurs were struggling? Just fun, wasn't it, for the whole country?
Yeah.
When Spurs were struggling and nearly getting relegated, and Aston Villa's fault, obviously, last season, letting them
take some responsibility
beat us.
for that.
So, no, listen, I'm just maybe a jealous Villa fan when I look at Onana getting injured and we can't spend. I'm seeing these clubs spend. Maybe there's something that Aston Villa need to do better for their revenue. Which they are doing, by the way. Their North Stand's totally closed this coming season. Going to be an extra 10,000 seats. So they're trying their hardest. So, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
Very magnanimous from you.
Yeah, I don't know trouble.
I'm surprised that Ricky could use the word massive because his tongue must have been so far in his cheek. 17th for 2 years in a row.
I know.
I think they've done some good business. I think they've done some really, really good business. Need to be some outgoings as well. Then I think Christian Romero will be on his bike.
Yeah,
Are you?
yeah. And they need to get rid of Romero.
I think obviously Dragasins and talks with Fiorentina.
Yeah, keep Danso maybe as backup.
Yeah.
I'm tired of fighting.
You're tired of fighting? Oh, wow, is this you throwing down
no energy.
No energy.
Yeah, too many fights.
Even though Villa perhaps threatening Spurs' place in the top 6, would you say?
I think they've already got it.
They've already got it.
Yeah,
Sorry, Spurs' place in the top 6. When was that?
The big 6, the traditional big 6.
There's no big 6 anymore. And if Spurs are, they're not one of them.
Yeah,
they're
not definitely
one of
not.
the big 6. They're not one of them.
Look what you're trying to bait me.
No, I'm genuinely not.
You succeeded, but there isn't a big 6 anymore.
No, there's not.
I don't think so.
No, it's a silly saying because when you finish 17th 2 seasons in a row,
yeah, you can't be in the big 6.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. What about all this chat about their stadium though? That's the one I think. If we're really having to talk about having concerts at the stadium as a sign that Spurs are back, really? I know that's what you built your stadium for, but surely 17th twice in a row. It doesn't matter if Beyonce's at your stadium.
No, but it's the money they're bringing in, aren't they? It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finances from it.
Spurs fans won't care about the concerts as long as they're winning on the pitch. They don't care what else is going on as long as they're winning on the pitch. But they haven't been doing that for some time now. I love the manager though. I think De Zerbi is going to be brilliant for them.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Anyway, it's okay. I'll enjoy my Champions League games next season at Villa Park.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. You couldn't resist.
Maybe we get Real Madrid. Maybe.
Yeah.
Try and get Mbappe's shirt.
Where do you think Spurs will finish this season?
I think they'll finish top 10. Yeah, I don't think top 6 though. Do you, Jeff?
It's
a lot to ask. They'll be a lot better though, of course.
I think there are question marks, but a lot of the sides are up there at the moment. So I think top 6 is open. It's a possibility. I'd say it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think with Spurs, when Thomas Frank came in, I thought he might be the man for them, and I was very wrong. But if they do continue with their spending, they're putting
European football as well.
Yeah.
Massive advantage.
Like Bournemouth, you look at Brighton, you look at so many teams that are going to be playing European football. You're right, there'll be advantage to Spurs.
Yeah.
Maybe they can have concerts on Wednesdays and Thursdays when everyone else is playing European football.
Ooh.
There it is.
Sorry, look what you've done. Let's break.
Yeah, you were trying to be so nice and peaceful. And now you've just lit the blue touch paper.
I was out of character being nice.
Yeah. Thanks very much indeed, Laura. By the way, Shane in Yeovil said England play Norway, Jeff, not Mexico. Sorry, Shane. Sorry. My only excuses were that I'm still shattered from the England game in the middle of the night the other day and trying to watch Djokovic yesterday at the same time as trying to watch Colombia against Switzerland, following on from Argentina against Egypt, added to the fact that I'm a muppet. That was all thanks to Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Kick off your day with a quality coffee on the go. Start with Costa Express.
Gabby, you silly little boy.
terrible story here, really. The French Football Federation say they're filing a report for legal action against a Paraguayan senator who launched into a racist tirade against Kylian Mbappe after Paraguay were knocked out by France in the last 16. Celeste Amarilla, she's a national senator in Paraguay. She took to Twitter, to launch an attack on Kylian Mbappe, which we would consider in this country to be an absolutely outrageous racist attack on the France striker. Many of the comments are that disgraceful, boys. I can't, and I genuinely do not want to repeat them. One thing she did say, though, which I think captures how rank and classless she is she said, the only thing many of us blame the Paraguay team for is not giving Mbappe a full-handed slap at the end of the game. I mean, I cannot stress how appalling her comments were, but Mbappe was class in his response. He took to Twitter, a platform that we know is rife with abuse. Yeah. And he was brilliant. He said, "You're a despicable woman and unworthy of your position. You do not represent Paraguay, the country which has sweated passion and honour throughout the competition. Through your reckless and brazen racism, the entire world has already forgotten the journey and the historic effort that your players accomplished during this World Cup, making way for an incompetent woman who gives the worst possible image of her country." And I think that's a great response to what is yet another example of prominent black players being victims of racist abuse, tropes and stereotypes.
I seen the statement, disgusting, mate, is all I can say. Some of the words that she used, and are you surprised? Not really. Do you know what I mean?
Sadly, no.
Yeah, you expect it in the world we live in. If I was France, I'd go...
The photo of the World Cup winning captain hoisting the trophy into the air is one of the most iconic images in sport. Maradona, Bobby Moore, Cafu, these pictures, Was Lionel Messi's tainted, though? In Qatar in 2022, Messi finally got his hands on the World Cup. But as he prepared to lift the trophy in those famous blue and white stripes, the Emir of Qatar approached, flanked by Gianni Infantino, with a bisht in hand. Now, a bisht is a traditional Arabic robe worn by royalty, and in it, Messi raised Argentina's golden prize into the night sky. Cynics said Qatar had paid for this exact photograph, knowing it would go down in history. But look, the badge of his country isn't even visible on Messi's chest. Pablo Zabaleta said on TV that there was no reason to do this. In fact, let's just bring this picture back. I mean, just imagine if the three lions were obscured on it. Some suggest what happened in Doha was the icing on the sports washing cake. But it was a massive moment of cultural significance for the Arabic world. So much so that a member of Oman's parliament offered to buy the bisht for $1 million. Messi himself has never publicly commented, and I'll leave it up to you to decide how he felt. But maybe he was just happy to finally get his hands on the World Cup.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Just coming around to 7:35, Wednesday, July the 8th, which means it's time for a bit of this.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, England are through everyone's buzzing. The World Cup dream is well and truly alive. talkSPORT has commentary of every single game, so I'm sure you know by now. And to celebrate, we're giving you the chance to win £26,000 in cash. It's completely tax-free. Continue our winning streak and your winning streak. Enter now. This is how. Just visit talksportwin.com or text the word WIN, just W-I-N, to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July. Now, text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can send your name and number by post to COMP1, that's C-O-M-P, and then the number 1, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP. And those entries need to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 right now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So last night, Switzerland nil, Colombia nil. Switzerland won on penalties. It was a dreadful game, got to be honest about it. Argentina 3, Egypt 2. It was a brilliant game with the world champions coming from 2 goals down to beat Egypt. Slightly controversial circumstances. Enzo Fernandez of Chelsea with a brilliant late winning header. Let's take a quick call. Barry is a Liverpool fan. He wants to talk about that game. Morning, Barry.
Morning, Baz.
Morning.
So, what did you make of Argentina, Egypt then, Barry?
So, yeah, one of my points was going to be making was Egypt was basically in control of the game, I thought, up until about the 70th minute where the first hydration break was in. Now, I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but don't you think the hydration break has made a lot of difference on every single game it's
Yes.
come into?
100%, yes, it has, definitely,
so
mate.
From that point, a speech, and it's just turned the whole game around. I mean, to get 3 goals back there was unbelievable.
But it's like any game, isn't it, though, Barry? You know, you come to the last 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to throw the kitchen sink. Hydration break or no hydration break?
Yeah, well, I think that you find that in World Cup games anyway. If it's a league game, if it's you're just playing for the next 3 points, but if it's a knockout game in the World Cup, then yeah, it's from get go. It's sort of like catch-22. You don't know who's going to be doing what, and then up to the 70th minute or whatever, the last minute, then yeah, they all go for it, don't they? But I think Egypt were in control most of the game. I know, obviously, people won't agree with me, but they defended well. They've done everything brilliantly that they should have done. I think they just panicked. As soon as the hydration break come in, they panicked, and that was it. It was finished. Game over.
Brilliant. Barry, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Barry.
All right, thank you.
Just a swift word. Liam, the Spurs fan, says, morning, boys. Jeff, you sound dumbfounded at the suggestion Spurs are seen as a top 6 club. Quick reminder that we've played European football for 17 of the last 20 seasons. Liam, I wasn't dumbfounded. I said completely the opposite, in actual fact. I said there shouldn't, there's no such thing as a big 6. We've got a big 6.
No, there isn't.
No such thing as a big 6 club. And actually, I did say, Liam, that Spurs had got a chance of making the top 6 because a lot of the sides who were in the top 6 last season are a bit vulnerable, and Spurs have spent well. So there we go. Now with Egypt out, Morocco, the only African nation left in the World Cup, direct repeat of their historic 2022 run. For more on this and Africa's performance at the tournament, let's bring in former Nigeria captain William Troost Ekong. Morning, Will.
Morning, Will.
Good morning, gents. Good morning, gents. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I mean, look, that sort of introduction almost paints it as a failure for the continent of Africa, but I think that's probably far from the truth, isn't it? Morocco into the quarterfinals. Egypt and Senegal in particular, a bit unfortunate to go out. 9 out of the 10 African nations getting past the group stage. How do you perceive it from an African point of view?
I actually think it's been a positive step for African football. I think for the continent, I think if we are looking now at Morocco still being in, of course, not considering the dates and when the game is played, from the first game against Brazil, there would have been the team for me who looked like they would have had the best chance to go far again, like they did in Qatar. But to see so many teams pass the group, which of course has also been helped by the format and the possibility to qualify as best third, I felt like a lot of those teams held their own for the knockout round, and we saw a lot of records being broken. And even for teams like Cape Verde, who had their first showing at the World Cup, to do as well as they did. I think Congo, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Egypt, teams that have managed to really go toe for toe with either old champions or teams that are normally in the running for the last 4 of the tournament. I think it's actually been really positive for the continent.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your career as well, mate, especially for the Nigerian national team. Fantastic captain. And my first thing I remember from a World Cup was '94, when I used to watch the games with my dad, and the Nigerian fans took that World Cup with their support. So I just want to say thank you to you for that, mate, first of all.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
And if I look at this World Cup so far, mate, I was so excited, especially by Senegal, Ivory Coast at times, obviously Morocco. But Senegal were very unlucky, weren't they, the way they lost to Belgium, because they were in control, wasn't they, of that game for 80 minutes?
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the teams that I would have expected to go above and beyond. I think there was some lack of experience. I think maybe the substitutions, how the games were managed, and it cost them in the end, because I think if you are 2-0 up, I was actually covering a game afterwards, so I was on the way to the studio, so I didn't see the last part, but I couldn't believe that they pulled it back to 2-2, and then for Belgium to then go ahead and win it. But Senegal was definitely a team, I think, with the mix of the experience of Mane, Koulibaly, Mendy, players that we would have known and seen in England a lot as well, to be able to understand how to manage that better. And I think for a lot of the African teams, the game seemed to have been 5 or 10 minutes too long. And that has really cost them, because like you said, like yesterday for Egypt, all those important goals fall right at the end of the game. Yeah. And that's been the difference so far. And teams that have got that experience know how to manage those games better.
Yeah. Would you put that Egypt defeat down to lack of game management then, rather than officiating decisions?
It's always difficult to say. I think, Argentina, I think, probably had 1 or 2 things fall in their favour. So it wouldn't be right for me to say that they didn't manage the game well, because I actually think they did. I also think that the format has changed so much with the hydration breaks, because you have, now it works against the teams in these moments, but is like we just heard from the caller that came on, is a chance for a team to really regroup and to change something around for the last 20 minutes and give it their best shot. And we see that time after time this tournament. And I think Egypt was very disappointed, of course, what the coach said. Controversial, and I can't completely disagree with him, because I think, things have been slightly favourable to some teams and some players. But they would be looking back and thinking that they should have probably tried to manage that game differently. But for them to reach that stage of the tournament, and with the players that were on the pitch, I'm not sure if they would have really had that understanding and experience to manage those games the way that Argentina did. And I think that Lionel Messi showed why he's arguably maybe the greatest of all time, because he understands how to make the difference for those moments and maybe save energy for those moments too.
Yes. Well, the hopes of Africa now lie on Morocco. Do you think we're closer now to seeing an African nation win the World Cup?
I think that we are closer. I think that Morocco have paved the way. And I'm not just saying that with their performance in Qatar, but they have been so consistent. They've invested heavily in the infrastructure over 10 years ago. Their youth teams are winning consistently at under 17, under 20, under 23 level on the continent, also Olympic level, and on the World Cups as well. And we're seeing those teams and those players progress. So what we see now are the best players that would have played together, and also more players that have the choice maybe to choose for maybe the nation where they're born, rather than now choosing to play for Morocco, because they see the opportunity for them to go as far as they did in Qatar. But to be honest, with now France being the next opponent, and in my opinion, they have the strongest squad at the tournament. Of course, we will be talking a lot about England and everything, but if you go player for player, France look like the team to beat. It might be a little bit too early for them to face them. And it was the same team that obviously undid them in Qatar in 2022. So there's systematic changes that are taking place, but I think everyone needs to have a look at how Morocco is doing it on the continent, because there's no surprise that they're having so much success across many different age range and also male and female teams. So they're definitely the blueprint.
Well, I'm probably going to throw you under the bus here, but just off the top of your head, who would you say has been the standout African performer at this World Cup individually?
I've really liked... who have I liked the most? Probably have to say Yandi Omande. I think as a young player coming onto the scene and playing as well as he did. And if not for Zinha, I think the goalkeeper of Cape Verde, I think at 40 years old, what a story he's had for them to be so good at the tournament. There's been maybe one or two of the older players, the ones that maybe had their last chance of doing it, where I would have loved to seen a little bit more. And if I'm talking about Senegal, maybe Koulibaly and Mane. And of course, Mo Salah, I think has been amazing for what he's done for African football and how he's carried the flag. Also been so consistently playing well for Liverpool, for him to have a chance to do so well at the World Cup, which is, amazing for them, writing history. I think it's also been something special. But Ibrahim Traoré, the winger from Senegal, one to watch out for. Bouadi, the number 6 for Morocco, amazing player, blown away by how he plays, only 18 years old. And Yan Diomande, I think, is going to take the Premier League by storm if he makes it over to the league this summer, of course.
Look forward to that. Brilliant. Thanks, Will.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, pal.
Yes, thank you so much, gents.
Cheers,
Top
guys.
man.
Former Nigeria captain William Truce-Ekong there with us. Michael in Northern Ireland, Jeff Spurs, you say, can no longer be called a top 6 club. I didn't say that. Didn't say that, Michael, but thank you. We don't have a big 6 anymore. That's what I said.
I've got to agree as well with what he said there as well, because even Ivory Coast at times looks very good. Senegal at times. Look at Sarr, the goal he took in that game against Belgium. I think Africans are getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
Like he says, if other African countries can look at what Morocco are doing. Do you know what I mean? Morocco got every chance against France.
I think the big thing there that he said in particular was that it's an incentive for African-born players to play for the country of their birth rather than move
Look
off.
at Bouadi. He played for France under 16s, under 17s, under 15s, or whatever it was, youth team, then chose to go and play for Morocco because you can see a pathway, you can see a country that's going to succeed. So it makes sense.
I think we'll see what a good player he is against France as well when they come up.
Looking forward to it.
Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
England fans, we want to hear from you. Blockbuster semi-final against Argentina, potentially on the card. Just potentially. So are you glad Argentina went through? Would you prefer them to be knocked out last night? Should Thomas Tuchel's men fear this Argentina side? 03717 223344. We're also asking you whether you think the bigger nations are feared, as was suggested by Egypt's boss after their defeat against Argentina. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
What did you think of Cristiano's performances at this World Cup?
Well, listen, to be honest, take away the performances. I'm just on because I'm annoyed at Gabby for calling him a disgrace, to be honest. I think it's bang out of order. I think what he's done in his career, he's earned the right to be there.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
How's he not earned the right? How's he not earned the right? He scored 28 goals last season. He's 41, Gabby.
So?
What age did you retire? What age did you retire?
What age did you start playing professional football yourself, mate? Yeah,
Don't
pipe
worry
down.
about me, mate.
Pipe
Don't
down.
worry about me, mate.
Don't go there, mate, when you haven't kicked the football in your life, okay? Settle down.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
I know what it's
settle
about.
down.
Don't worry about that.
Settle down.
No, you're a disgrace for calling him a disgrace.
No problem.
Honestly,
No,
it's unbelievable.
in fairness, Jack, we stood up for Cristiano. We said he had a wonderful, marvellous career. Nobody earns the right to play at a World Cup finals at 41 just because what you've achieved in the past. No one stops time. And you could see him last night. I mean, he was doddering around in attack. He could not raise a gallop. Time has caught up with him.
Jack still wants him started in the next World Cup as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. He's still producing. But there's loads of top... No, I'm saying Messi walks about, but he's still producing at the World Cup, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But to say that he's not earned the right, he
hasn't.
He is a phenomenon.
But he's not anymore.
41 years of age.
But he's not anymore.
Unbelievable. You know how hard it is to keep yourself in shape.
But he's not anymore.
But
Jack, surely it's not a modelling competition.
Jack, get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Got a text here saying we need more of Will on talkSPORT.
Fantastic.
Excellent segment of radio talking about William Troost-Ekong, and he's absolutely outstanding. He really is. Headlines this morning: Novak Djokovic eventually saw Felix Auger-Aliassime in 5 hours and 15 minutes, the longest ever Wimbledon quarter-final. He's through to semi-final now against Yannick Sinner. Brit Arthur Ferry in action today. England's cricketers inflicted a record defeat on India in the third T20 at Trent Bridge to give the home side a 2-0 lead with 2 matches in the series remaining. I didn't even know what was taking place, I'll be brutally honest with you.
Same.
So far under the radar. And Argentina through to the World Cup quarterfinals by the skin of their teeth, scoring 3 goals in the last 13 minutes to beat Egypt 3-2. It wasn't without refereeing controversy, however. Egypt having a goal ruled out in the 58th minute to go 2-0 up, and of course they thought the winning goal should have been ruled out as well. VAR got involved. That ruled out goal was pulled back for a foul on Lissandra Martinez. Cundy and O'Hara debated that decision on the sports bar last night.
I think there is something to be said for saying, right, OK, how many seconds do you go back? How far do you go back?
I think it ain't about seconds. I think it's about where you are on the pitch. I think once you cross the halfway line,
right?
If you make a foul and the foul's not given and you get them, once you cross the halfway line and you go into their third or their half,
right?
I think it's a new phase.
Okay, what about this?
It's a new phase.
What about
Come on, he's still got 40 metres.
That wasn't a new phase, was it? It just wasn't a new phase.
No. It's definitely the same phase. Martinez gets fouled, they counter-attack and they score. It's not like it's stop and then the ball goes out of play. No, it's the same phase. It doesn't matter where on the pitch it is. Rightly disallowed goal. And I can't understand anyone's argument with it, to be honest.
Look, let's bring in the former Premier League referee, Chris Foyt, to talk more about that and refereeing in general during the tournament. Morning to you, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, boys. You okay?
Yeah, good. Look, let's start quickly with that one, Chris. I mean, first of all, the foul on Lissandra Martinez, 90 yards away from where the ball eventually went into the net. Egypt felt they'd scored. It was ruled out after a VAR intervention. What was your view?
Well, I actually jumped out my chair and thought I'd seen the goal of the tournament when that went, and I thought it was ridiculous. You know, what a great goal. And then when I saw it back, I saw a little tiny shirt pull and thought, I'm not too sure. And then when I saw the boot on boot and then the bump on the thigh, and Gabby made a really good point. You know, there's no time limit on this and no number of passes, but at no point in that passage of play did the ball go sideways or backwards. It went forward all the time. And, you know, as good as a goal as it was, we can't be critical of the match officials on this one because there was a foul in the build-up and it was quite rightly disallowed.
Do you know what I've loved about this World Cup? And I'm the first to criticise referees. I think the referees have been fantastic. Apart from the Paraguay game where the yellow cards weren't available for the Paraguay players, some reason against France. But apart from that, Chris, I've loved the way they've played on a lot. Even Anthony Taylor yesterday, I've seen a different side of him. Nope, not going to give these fouls. Where everyone's diving on the floor, there's got to be a real big contact for me to give a foul. And I've loved how firm they've been this tournament.
Yeah, you make a really good point, Gabby. I think, you know, the English boys have done really well. They're still at the tournament, which is good news for English football. I think the Paraguay game was the one that caused me the most concern against France, where the referee didn't really do his job properly. I think he got lost in that game. I think there was a number of yellow cards that could have been issued, and the game ran away from him. And some of the games have been really difficult. You know, Thomas Tuchel came out and was critical of the referee, and I think the Australian guy in the Mexico game, and I'm still recovering from that one. The players didn't make it easy for him in that game. You know, we saw a lot of histrionics, dissent. You know, the Quansah red card when the technical area from Mexico just emptied out and tried to get him sent off, and it was a thankless tax, but he stuck to his guns in that one. But some tough matches, and as you say, some really strong refereeing performances.
Yeah. Well, what have you made of the use of VAR in this competition then so far, Chris? Has it been a bit lower key and certainly swifter than it has been in the Premier League?
I think there's been some good stuff, Jeff, and there's some stuff that I've not been too impressed with. I wasn't impressed with the intervention in the Scotland-Brazil game where Vinicius Junior scored, and they went back and took that goal away. I didn't think that was a good intervention. I think the intervention, there would be obviously a lot of noise around the America game where the player got sent off. I think it was against Bosnia. I think that was a good intervention where he got him down the calf, went down his Achilles, and there was an ankle roll. I think, again, that was a good intervention. And we've actually seen a referee stick to his guns, haven't we, in the France game, where a penalty wasn't awarded. The VAR said it should be, and the referee said, no, I'm sticking with my decision. So we've had a sort of a full spectrum. But in the main, I think the VAR is pretty good.
I've loved as well how the referees, they've just been no nonsense. Even yesterday, the referee running over to the Egyptian bench and like giving yellow cards out and not having it off anybody. There was no referee so far in this tournament that have looked starstruck by superstars that maybe you see in league football. Firm referee, and that's what you want to see, isn't it, Chris?
I think there's times on a pitch, Gabby, where you can manage situations. You know, the best referees have all the tools to do that, and I think sometimes you just got to be strong and issue a disciplinary sanction. And going over to the bench yesterday with a red card, told everybody that the referee wasn't having any nonsense, and there was the sanction, and he dealt with it really positively. And I think that's good, but it's not something that you want to do all the time. But if it's there to be done, then you've got to do your job.
Chris, England going to the Norway game, they've got Bellingham, Gahey, Rice and O'Reilly all on yellow cards. Will whoever is refereeing that game be aware of that beforehand? Will he be made aware of it beforehand?
I very much doubt it, Jeff. It's speaking from a personal point of view, it was never something that you take into consideration. I think the people who will know they're on yellow cards are the players themselves, so they'll have to be mindful. And I don't know if after this round, whether they have a period where they get quashed with semi-finals. You know, we know in the Premier League after a number of yellow cards that they get quashed after so many, and then we start again. Whether that will happen, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's mental, isn't it? So that you know, if you pick up another yellow card, any of those four, then they won't be available for the semi-final. I mean, that's the situation, I think, Chris.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have to be mindful of that. But you know, let's just hope it doesn't happen, and we can keep cheering them along the way.
Couple of Englishmen then, who are probably the only Englishmen who don't want England to win this World Cup or get to the final, are Anthony Taylor and Michael Oliver, because that would rule them out, wouldn't it?
Unfortunately, yes. And we mustn't forget Jared Gillett as well, who's acting as VAR. I think, as I said, I'm not biased, but I am biased. I think the two refereeing teams from England have been fantastic so far. And when you think about derbies in football matches, when you talk about Spain, Portugal, and Anthony Taylor went under the radar, it was a real positive for English refereeing.
Yeah. Anthony Taylor's team, Adam Nunn, Gary Bezic as well. He's a poolie, so he's obviously a good official.
I knew you'd get that in, Jeff. I knew you'd get that in.
Chris, good to talk to you, pal.
Thank you, Chris. Top man.
Cheers, boys. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too,
mate.
former Premier League referee Chris Foy. I think the referees, by and large, have done pretty well.
I really enjoyed it.
And I do think VAR. Yeah, there've been some wrong interventions, but generally speaking, it's been a bit lower key and it's been quicker.
Yes, I love a no-nonsense referee. I remember Kalina back in the day.
Yeah.
Just put it on players in there. Players were scared of him. That's what I love.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the referee last night, I think it was in the Colombia game, was about 4'3" inches tall.
Weren't having nothing, was he?
The players were towering over him, and he was not taking anything
I love it.
from them.
Yes.
Yeah.
No nonsense.
03717223344. Look, I know we're a bit premature. We're going to take your calls on Argentina and, more importantly, England's chances of beating them in what is very much a hypothetical semi-final at this point.
Trump, who I think I heard say at one stage he didn't know about the red card system, he still suggested
unfair.
that the referee at the heart of this,
suspicious.
Raphael Claus, was a bit suspect. He's the president.
These were two great athletes that got tangled up, and this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past. I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do, but and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this. This man is a smart, tough man, Johnny Infantino. He's a smart, tough man, and his stock has gone through the roof because the job he's done has been great.
See, now we have the length and breadth of it, right? Now we know the full length and breadth of it, right? So now we know the full length and breadth of it. We can eviscerate it because it deserves evisceration, right? When you listen to that, you think to yourself, it's absurd. But again, it takes me back to the position. And Trump says absurd things, but no one disputes the fact that he says lots of absurd things. And that in the context of sport.
He's the president.
But people say lots of things. Lots of people say lots of silly things, right? But you'd expect him to say something better than this. But in a sporting context, he doesn't clearly know what he's talking about. But I tell you who does know what he's talking about is that snivelling sycophant that runs FIFA. He does know what he's talking about.
He's one of, if not the greatest of all time. Diego Maradona led Argentina to glory in 1986, producing some incredible moments on the way. But his World Cup story wasn't all triumph and inspiration. A fresh-faced 21-year-old Maradona arrived at the 1982 World Cup as the next great hope for Argentina. But his tournament debut didn't go to plan. Argentina were knocked out early on, and Maradona was criticised for underperforming. His legend truly begins 4 years later, when, in the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, he created outrage and infamy with one flick of his wrist, the hand of God. He punched it into the net. Peter Shilton called him a cheat. Maradona described the referee Ali bin Nasser, who missed it, as his great eternal friend. Then just 4 minutes later, he picks up the ball in his own half and starts to dance around the England team. He goes past one, then another. Can we have that music off, please? Anyway, the run ends in glory for Maradona, and just days later, he was lifting the World Cup trophy, Argentina's second, and returning home a national hero. Hopes were high for Italia 90 when he'd captained the side again, but it was bizarre. Maradona was playing his club football in Italy at the time, winning titles for Napoli. And the Neapolitans were actually supporting Argentina over their own country when they faced off in the semi-final. Argentina won that game, but lost to West Germany in the final, and Maradona burst into tears. The 1994 World Cup would be his last. I mean, even his fashion had gone downhill. He was sent home after 2 games for failing a doping test due to something he'd ingested from an energy drink. But does a Red Bull make you look like this? Maradona would never pull on the blue and white stripes again. He did come back as manager, but was sacked after they were knocked out in 2010. The goal of the century is a permanent reminder that he may well have been the greatest of them all. Before it, his ascent, and after it, his dramatic descent, only highlights the mountain peak that was Maradona's 86.
Good morning, it's 6 minutes past 8 o'clock, Wednesday, July the 8th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Only one place to start this morning. Tears of joy. Well, you know what? I don't think there were tears of joy. Tears of relief.
Yes.
For the little magician Messi, who continues to light up this World Cup.
Messi in the day. There's the hat-trick for Lionel Messi.
Great man's going to take some catching. He's the man who takes the free kicks. He's the man who takes the penalties. He's the man who scores all types of goals.
By the way, he was voted best player in Qatar, yeah? He's playing better today than he did then.
Ball in towards Messi. Oh, how on earth has he squeezed that in?
Messi doesn't come into that because, in my opinion, he plays a different sport. He's 2-3 seconds ahead of everyone. I love watching him go. I could watch him all day.
Coming in the shooting, Messi! It is in! It is 2-2! It is Messi! Master of all he surveys!
We have just witnessed one of the greatest World Cup comebacks.
Messi deserves this. Pele was a fantastic player, but I cannot believe that even Pele was a better player than this guy.
Scary.
Yeah, and you know, Thierry Henry said last night, you don't want to wake up the beast.
No, you don't.
And I think that's what happened because he was pretty ordinary for a lot of the match.
Yep, and then he turns up. That's what the best players do.
Yeah.
But Jeff, like, I can't imagine a World Cup without Messi. I can't imagine football without Messi. One day I'll have grandkids and they'll be asking me, Granddad, how was Messi really that good? No, like I ask about Maradona to my dad. Was he really that good? You know, you see clips and stuff, of course, but wow. It'll be a sad day, Jeff, when Lionel Messi retires from football.
Yeah, it's interesting. He was talking about the tears afterwards and the tears of relief and such like. And he said, actually, you know, a lot of it was tears of anger because he was so angry at missing that penalty, 4th penalty in 8 in World Cups that he's missed. He felt he'd let his team down. Well, I think that's a mark of the man. Of
course.
You know, that he felt he'd let his teammates
100% as well. And what a crazy comment to say after what he's done for his country. Do you know what I mean? The last World Cup, how influential he was to win it. So he would never let his country or team down. But I'll tell you something, all the debate about, will Messi take the next penalty? He will. He will think to himself, all right, come on, wakey. I know how to score penalties. I can put the ball in any part of the net from 30, 40 yards. He takes that next penalty. He's not going to put that responsibility onto someone else. He'll be like, okay, I missed 4 out of 8 penalties at World Cups. but I'm taking this one.
I think that's too much pressure for him from a personal point of view. I think that he steps up the next time. He's going to have so many thoughts going through his
That's what
head.
the best players do,
He's missed the last
Jeff.
two, he's missed four. But you've
that's
got,
what the best players do.
got penalty takers. Alexis McAllister took penalties for
mate.
Brighton. He's
This is
taken
Messi,
penalties
though.
at times for Liverpool.
It's not going to happen, mate. Like, that's even like Ronaldo as a comparison. Ronaldo has missed penalties, I'm sure. He will never let anyone else take it. These superstar elite players, Messi will think to himself. He won't be the selfish of thinking, oh, another goal for the Golden Boot. He's going to think, I'm Messi. I know how to score penalties. Yeah. Do I change my run-up? Do I stutter a little bit and wait for the keeper to go? Do you know what I mean? He will take the next penalty. I agree with you. McAllister can take penalties. Lautaro Martinez, Alvarez. They've got so many, but I just think this guy will think, okay, this is me. I know how to take penalties.
He's going to believe he's going to.
Of course, yeah, he's gonna, mate. I just can't see it in a million years. And what if someone else takes it and misses? And then he feels like, oh, I should have been a responsible one to go and take it.
We shall see. We may see.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they
probably will.
They may not have to take another penalty in the course of the tournament. Let's head to the phone line. Steve, the Everton fan, has called us.
Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Gabby. Good morning, Jeff.
So, Steve, what did you make of that game yesterday, then?
Well, to be honest with you, Jeff, you know what it's like. They're a bit like Man City, Argentina, aren't they? You think you've got them. Even at 2-0 down, you're thinking, you only need 2 chances. And with the GOAT, you're never out of it, are you, till you're out of it? So, yeah, part of me was like, come on, Egypt, do it. And then you think, that's a little bit easy for us on paper.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other side of it is, Jeff, I want to see the GOAT, with no disrespect, crying his eyes out in the semi-finals, looking around the pitch like you're Ronaldo when we beat them, Jeff. Honestly, when we stick it on them, because, you know, there's a couple of points, Jeff. I was like most of us at the start of the season with Tuchel's selection and the man himself, because I don't see this elite manager, if I'm honest with you. And the more and more I'm watching it, and I'm trying to find myself, Jeff, and I'm saying to myself at the start of the tournament, this fella is very, very clever, or he's an idiot, right? And I've come to the point now in the conclusion, Jeff, this fella is unbelievable. This fella is the next step. And the next step for us is to win a tournament like this. And I have to tip my hat off to him. His attention to detail and the way he got us through that, it's as Gabby helped me out, Gav, it's peaking at the right time, isn't it? And we went, even though I thought we'd beat Mexico, I thought it's how we beat them. I want that performance. I was saying that I want the performance to galvanise us as a team, as a squad, and as a country. And all them ones who doubted Tuchel and doubted the selection.
But all I would say, Steve, is we haven't won it yet. You know, I agree with you, and he's done fantastic, and it was a great performance against Mexico. Now we need to do it against Norway, because if we don't, and we were to lose against Norway, everyone's opinion will change. You agree?
I agree, Gav. But we beat Mexico. Let's one step at a time. We beat Norway. Yeah. We tie up Odegaard, and we cut the supply off to Ireland.
Easy.
That's all we do. We just cut off the supply to Ireland.
Sounds so straightforward, Steve. So straightforward. Thanks, mate. Look, I love your passion and I love your confidence as well.
Yes.
Bring it home, Jeff.
And yes, my worry is just defensively, you know, with Quansah suspended for the next game. Reece James, if he's got a hamstring, he's not going to be fit. He just isn't going to be fit. And Jed Spence apparently is still carrying a knock.
You do need to get someone in and around Odegaard. The way he ran the game against Brazil. Get someone in and around Odegaard, and you will, Jeff. He will have Anderson or Rice, whoever it is, or Bellingham. Get on Odegaard. Stop Odegaard trying to run the game. We can't allow that.
Yeah, but I worry as well again then that Rice and Bellingham are both on yellow cards, and another yellow would mean they would miss any potential semi-final. Dan's a Leeds fan. Morning, Dan.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, guys. Are you in a better mood today, Gabby?
I am, mate. I am now. Yeah, I'm over it, mate. Yeah, it's a lovely day in London. 30 degrees.
Listen, don't let this PSR get you down, mate.
Okay,
it's pathetic,
mate.
And we'll never beat it, mate.
Yeah.
Just keep styling and be who you
I'll try,
are.
mate. I won't let it get to me, mate. I'm going to move forward. Happy.
Dan, what do you think? Are we going to see England, Argentina in the semis?
Do you know what, mate? I'll tell you what it is. We need to keep us heads against Norway, and especially 2 people, Bellingham and Rice. Okay, we go into the semi-finals against Argentina without them two, it's going to get messy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get messy, literally.
Yeah.
We can beat Argentina, we can on the day, but you just have to keep sticking to him like glue. Do not let him away. And that's the same with Ireland on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think they're doing great, but like I say, they start spitting the dummies out, and I saw that before, you know what I mean? I think they're just losing heads. They've just got to keep calm and keep going. And
I think as well, let's not just look at those two players, because when Shelderup come on at half-time and got 2 assists, Oscar Bob come on at half-time and done well as well. We have to be better defensively, 1v1. Look at the Congo's first goal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not just two players. They've got a very good squad of players.
what I'm saying with that is, Gabby, it's what is it, mate? They're on yellow cards, aren't they?
Yeah. Look, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I think Declan Rice will be absolutely fine. He picked up a yellow card in the first minute against Mexico, played the entire match after that, and didn't pick up another yellow. So I think he'll be fine. But I completely get your concerns, Dan. Dan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Cheers, you too, mate. You too. This is talkSPORT World Cup Breakfast, 8:16.
Are you surprised that Barcelona signed Anthony Gordon? They let Rashford go. They brought Anthony Gordon in. When you look at you just brought Barcelona into the equation. They're now looking at what they're looking at. They won the league last year. Madrid are coming again with better players and building again. Are you surprised they've gone out and spent 75 million quid on Anthony Gordon?
You know that Andy Gordon was in Everton and we promoted him a lot. So then I can say, yes, I am happy because he has gone. The prices, I don't talk about prices because football is crazy now with the prices. In terms of the potential of Anthony, I think Anthony, you know that he talks very good Spanish.
Indeed.
So he was learning Spanish, he was talking with us, with my staff, and after in Newcastle also with the staff. So I think he has an advantage. And you can see the first game he didn't do well, but the last game he was doing much better with England.
Yeah.
He has pace. He can score goals. And the time that he was with us, I don't know if I told you about the story of Miami. We played a friendly in Miami against Millonarios de Bogotá, and it was very hot, very, very hot. And he was on the bench, and he came from the bench in the last 50 minutes, and he couldn't run after 50 minutes. So, sorry, in the second half, after 50 minutes, he couldn't run, and he was very hot. And then we were talking with him about his fitness, and then he said, his pace is there. He's very good. He has 37 kilometers per hour, so he's really fast. The problem was his stamina. And then he started working specifically with his stamina, and he improved it a lot, and they sold them later on for 40 million. So I think at this time he was not going with the under-21s. And I was asking him, I said, Anthony, why you don't go with the under-21s? And he told me, because they didn't see me now, how I'm working now. So I think at this time, this period, I don't know in the last, if you say, few months, his mentality was more a hard worker. And he had the talent, he has the ability. We have a game after the training sessions to finishing, and who was the best? And normally it was Richarlison and him. Always he was there with Richarlison. So means that he can finish, he can score goals, he has pace. What he has to be is more consistent.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received. Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
good morning. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor. There we are. It's the England anthem, Wonderwall. Oasis back out on tour again, by the way. 12 dates at the Etihad Stadium, and then 6, I think, at Nebworth as well. So the boys are going to be really, really busy. As good as he is, I don't think Messi should take the next penalty, says Charles. He has a mental block now. More chance in missing than scoring.
50% chance in history of his World Cup penalties.
Yeah.
He's 4 out of 8, so he's got 50% chance of missing. I just don't see it, Jeff. I agree with you, Jeff. I totally get it. I would give it to someone else, but I just think when you're Messi, the go-to guy, big moments, World Cup final, scoring his penalties in the game as well, didn't he? In the game and in the penalty shootout scored. I just don't see it.
Charlie, who's a Portsmouth fan, says, "Hi, Jeff and Gabby. What do you make of every single one of the match officials for France against Morocco being Argentinian? Tad unfair, no?"
It's not unfair, but I get it, because when you see the French, whenever you speak to anyone from France, you see it on social media, all they keep saying is, we want Argentina, we want revenge for the last World Cup, we want Argentina. So there's a rivalry there, because even when Argentina won on penalties, a lot of the players are looking back and giving it to the French players. So there's definitely rivalry there, but you've got to trust the referees to do a professional job.
Got a text here as well, talking of England. Gahey and Stones play with Haaland at Man City, so surely we'll have a slight insight on how to play against him. But maybe that means that Haaland will also have an insight in how to beat Gahey and Stones.
Let's be honest, Jeff. You do not want the ball coming in and Gahey marking Haaland. No offence to Gahey. I rate him as a defender, but he's not the tallest of defenders.
No, he's not.
He's not at all. So if you're Haaland, you are drifting onto Gahey.
John Stones is not the most physical.
I agree. I think he's still going to play Konsa and Gahey. I really do. He's not going to want to split up that back line because they've done well together. But we have to switch on. Stop the cross, like I says.
Yeah.
Stop the cross, because this guy is like different class in that penalty box.
Yeah, I'm a Dan Burn cheerleader, you know. He's
I like that take.
When
Newcastle,
Newcastle have played against Man City with Haaland in the side and Dan Burn in the side. Haaland's only scored once, and that was his first game against him. 8 appearances in total. He's only scored once. 7 attempts since.
It's a great show.
He's not scored against.
It's a great show. Yep. He might be listening, Thomas.
Yeah.
We know managers like to listen to talkSPORT, especially Jurgen Klopp when you come for me. But I think if he's listening, maybe he takes your advice, Jeff.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he won't. I've got a feeling that he'll probably stick to as near the side that started against Mexico as he possibly can.
Well, let's not underestimate the rest of the Norwegian side. Don't just think about Odegaard and Haaland. Shoulder up and Oscar Bob. Berg
had a really good game in midfield.
Van der Berg as well.
Christopher Ayer at the back
exactly.
was excellent.
Rock solid. So it's going to be a tough game. Nyland as well, ex-Villa goalkeeper, game of his life. So he's going to be difficult to score.
I think, a lot of people look at Norway and think, well, look, they've been useless over the years. They've never been a threat in major tournaments.
Right to say that.
But that was then, and this is now.
Yep.
And
tough
a
game.
Very different Norwegian side.
And who's the pressure on? Us.
All the pressure.
There's no pressure on Norway.
Yeah.
So, we have to be at it.
Okay, it is 8:24. Let's get the latest odds with Coral and Simon Clare.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18+, gambleaware.org.
He's at work. Finally.
Morning,
Gabby. Good morning,
sorry,
Jeff.
mate. Morning to you too.
Morning, Jeff. Glad to have you back. And cheering Gabby up. He's been quite grumpy the last couple of weeks.
It happens, mate. It happens with age.
He's in a really good mood today, though. He's in a very good mood.
He is.
He's mellow.
Now I know why my dad is always in a bad mood.
Yeah, no.
That right. No, we're talking about age. Yesterday, I've got to say, I was just sitting on the sofa watching Argentina.
Wow.
Extraordinary effort with Messi. Unbelievable the way he came to the party towards the end of that game. And then Djokovic.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colombia-Switzerland game wasn't the most exciting game, but so I spent most of the time obviously watching the Djokovic 5-setter for 5 hours. And I mean, that was unbelievable. And Jeff, you won't know this, but a week ago, Andy Goldstein asked me if I was excited by Wimbledon, and I was very negative about it. And Gabby was on air. And then, of course, points out that I'd been invited to Wimbledon on Monday. And plenty of the people I saw on Monday had listened to talkSPORT and were surprised I'd turned up. But I can tell you, Arthur Ferry and Djokovic have got me excited about Wimbledon.
Look, Simon, without Ferry and without Djokovic, I think this would have been a bit of a damp squib of a Wimbledon, to be honest. But they have saved the fortnight in many respects, for me at least.
I hope you got some stick, Simon. I hope you got a lot of stick.
I did get stick. But Jeff, listen, Jeff's backed me up. It was dull last week, I thought, but that's maybe I wasn't as close to it, and it does take those they call it narratives, don't they? But suddenly, I mean that match Djokovic last night was unbelievable.
Oh, look. 39-year-old Djokovic, 39-year-old Lionel Messi. I'll tell you what, age is underrated, Simon. Believe you me.
Experience. And I think he did play. Anyone who watched Djokovic, he, in theory, the younger man should have had the advantage in that fifth set. But actually, it was the know-how and that just ability to play. I mean, some of the rallies towards the end defied.
Do you know the bad news, though, guys? 39-year-old Gabby Agbonlahor. I'm embarrassed, to be honest.
Is that how old you are?
Yes.
Is it?
It's been a tough run. It's been a tough run, Simon.
I must admit, Jeff, it's one of those I wouldn't want to guess in case I insulted him.
Simon, who do you think looks in the best nick then? Novak Djokovic or Gabby Agbonlahor?
Even after 5 sets on the centre court, Djokovic looks a hell of a lot better. Mind you, look, I haven't seen Gabby on the paddle court. I hear he's quite good.
I'm all right.
Let's stick with the tennis then, shall we? Of course, Arthur Ferry's in action today. Plays the 9th seed. I'm guessing he's the outsider.
He is, but not massive. I thought if I actually watched Caboli beat De Minaur on Monday, he's 1-3 the Italian against Arthur Ferry, who's just over 2-1, 11-5. But that's a tight. That's winnable. I mean, Caboli's a good player, but Arthur Ferry's just performing incredibly well. We've got Fritz and Zverev, where Fritz is the marginal favourite, 8-11 against Zverev, even money, and all builds up to tomorrow. Where Djokovic is a big outsider. It's 2-9 Sinner against Djokovic, who's 3-1 in that semi-final tomorrow. But again, after that 5 sets, it'd be hard to believe he can pull out another great performance. But you never know. But yeah, go on Arthur Ferry. We need this Brit in the semi-finals.
No football tonight, Simon. Have you got World Cup odds?
Oh, we have.
Argentina.
Listen, France are 7-4 favourites. Argentina 7-2, 7-2 Spain, 9-2 England. Looking at the 4 quarters, France the shortest price to get through to the semis. They're 1-4 against Morocco. Spain are 2-7 to get past Belgium. It's 1-3 Argentina to get past Switzerland, and the closest match is that England-Norway game. 4-9 England, 13-8 Norway. But what I thought, I thought was an interesting point. Right at the start of the tournament, after the Club World Cup, I did sort of feel that the heat, the humidity, the weather might favour the non-European sides. Yet here we are with 6 of the last 8 European nations, 1 African, 1 South American. It's kind of it hasn't played the role we thought it was.
Agreed.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you guys?
No, it hasn't surprised me because I look at the standard of some of the South American teams. I never fancied Brazil before the tournament. I don't think you can look at the conditions and think that's going to have a big effect on Brazil getting further. I thought Argentina would be where they were, and France, England as well. Obviously, the shocks of Norway and teams like that for sure.
Belgium,
I didn't expect.
Yeah. But anyway, it's all building up nicely. So
look, there have been some absolutely brilliant matches. I mean, obviously, Colombia, Switzerland was not one of those, but still. Coral Racing Club horse Catalyst in action at Kempton, Simon.
We have, exactly, just sort of lower the bar a little bit. It's the 7:48 at Kempton this evening. It'll be a warm night, no doubt, at Kempton. And the Coral Grace Club has a horse called Catalyst, nice mare. She's the outsider at 40-1, but she'll go from the front. She either goes from the front and runs well, or it doesn't get to the front and she goes backwards. She's quite moody, but on her day, she's quite good. So we're hoping for a big run tonight for the Coral Race Club members.
Best of luck with that. Pompey Adam, who's a regular contributor, has just painted a picture of England against Argentina in the semi-finals. He says, "Morning, boys. I can see it now. England against Argentina in the semis. England goal disallowed by VAR in the last minute. Argentina go up the other end, are awarded a pen. Messi makes it 5 from 9 from the spot. Sport conjures up these moments." I tell you what, Adam, Pompey Adam, you get a big price against that happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Simon, Steve-O was complaining a couple of days ago about the freebies you'll get into America. He's not getting them.
I didn't. Hang on a second. I went on holiday to America and paid my own way.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Simon.
For the avoidance of doubt, my bosses are listening. No, I really did. It was a holiday.
While we're talking about things like that. Gabby and I, we're both still waiting for our invitations to the Coral Eclipse.
Yeah, Cundy gets invited
next year, eh?
You've got to be called Jason Cundy to get an invite, apparently.
I didn't know Gabby would come that far down south, to be honest. Although it does make it down to London Bridge. I know it's a little bit further to Isha. Listen, we've got plenty to come, and next year you'll be absolutely welcome.
We hope so, mate.
Simon, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, guys.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Up next is Novak Djokovic finally closing in on that all-time major record. We'll put that to Greg Rosetsky.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here to reward the fans this summer. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
In Miami this Saturday, Inter won Erling Haaland, who got a couple of goals, and Brazil exited the tournament. Haaland signed a 9.5-year contract last January that keeps him at Manchester City until 2034. And Alpha Inge Haaland, Erling's dad, spoke to the Zone ahead of the match, Simon, at the weekend. And he said, well, Real Madrid, he says he's very happy at Manchester City. He's got a long contract. We're waiting for the new season, but anyone would want to play for Madrid. You never know what can happen in football, that dreadful phrase that's used so often. But does Guardiola's departure, Simon, make Haaland's City future any less secure, do you think?
Well, I don't know what his relationship will be with Maresca, because we know we had a relationship with Guardiola. He signed for Guardiola. He didn't sign for this fellow. So there might always be a change. There might be a drop-off in City. Maresca might not be the person capable of delivering City the outcomes that they've become accustomed to.
Yeah.
Albeit last couple of years they haven't won a title. They'll soon get back in the saddle. That can be clear, given they've spent £130 million on a central midfield player. Their ambitions are clearly in that direction. He will go, in my view, to Real Madrid. Tragically, that seems to be the destination of all the big players. So at some point, do I see him serving out his 9.5-year contract? No. It doesn't matter. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when.
I mean, you might say insecurity is almost impossible with a 10-year deal, though, isn't it?
I don't think that kid suffers from any insecurity, do you? I mean, I've encountered him firsthand. I don't think he suffers from any insecurity. He might suffer from a lack of manners, but he doesn't suffer from any insecurity. He is a hell of a player.
But in terms of City's hold on him?
Not really. That just commands... So if Erling Haaland walks into XYZ person's office at Manchester City and says, I don't want to play for you anymore, and I really don't want to play for you anymore, and I'm really going to make that clear.
When you think about some of the stadiums that have hosted games in the World Cup, sometimes it's hard not to be completely overawed. But what's the biggest? One thing we have to be clear about is that older stadiums will have had higher capacities when it was standing only. A good example of this is the old Wembley. For the final in '66, the capacity was 125,000. But that was later reduced to 100 when it was converted into an all-seater in 1990. Another example is this, Mexico City's Estadio Azteca. Back in '86, it's estimated around 115,000 people watched Argentina beat West Germany to win their second World Cup. Essential modernisation so it could be used in the 2026 tournament reduced it to 83,000. You can't talk about old stadiums with high capacities without mentioning Brazil's Maracanã. Some say the jewel in football's crown. In the 2014 World Cup, its capacity stood at just under 79,000. But back in 1950, well, it wasn't official, but estimates believe 210,000 people came to this place for a winner-takes-all match between Brazil and Uruguay. That's still the world record attendance for a live football match, and let's be honest, it's not likely to be beaten anytime soon.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby, Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. Greeno, the posties, being in touch. Morning, Greeno. He says, morning, you two. He said, do you think it was a foul on Salah? I'm not so sure.
No.
I don't think either of us...
No foul, play on.
Either of us do, Greeno. I think he was looking for it.
Yeah.
After Argentina scored, you could only see them winning. I was very impressed with Egypt on the counter.
Yes.
Do you think the teams can get at Argentina?
100%.
Yeah, I fancy England against them. A lot of people do, Green. I certainly think you can get at Argentina.
100%. And if we both get to the semi-final, Jeff, there'll be times where you know what, change it up a little bit, sit back against Argentina, look at how Egypt counter-attacked on them. Imagine Gordon, Rashford on the counter-attack, whoever's playing on that left-hand side. Like, they were there for the taking.
Yeah. Now, listen to this. After Scotland's disappointing World Cup campaign, Steve Clarke decided to call it a day. The former Liverpool and Newcastle manager, Rafa Benitez, joined White and Jordan yesterday and didn't rule out taking the vacant position.
I was watching Scotland and I know some players, and I think you did well to go there to the World Cup. But for me, the World Cup has too many games, too many teams. Has to be less teams, more quality, and less games because the players are playing too many games. So then when you can see the injuries and all these kind of things. So, but Scotland, they achieve what they could achieve. No, I don't think that they could achieve even more. But it's always a challenge. So I am open to the challenge. But so if they give you the tools, obviously, no. But then the main thing is the target.
Well, got bags of experience. Would he be on a short list?
Do you know what? I did hear some of the ex-Scotland players saying that maybe now is the time for Scotland to look at a foreign manager because Derek McGuinness was one of the managers they were looking at. Obviously, he's the Rangers manager now. So it wouldn't surprise me, not that they get Benitez, but they do look for maybe a foreign manager like England have done. Brazil have done, other teams.
We shall see. Sometimes I think Rafa's bit overlooked when it comes to jobs, you know. He's been
interesting.
Who
they go for?
I work for some time,
and they need to bring someone in soon as well. You've got games coming up in September, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on to tennis. Second week of Wimbledon, starting to get very tasty. Novak Djokovic, what a match last night against Felix Auger-Aliassime. He won by 3-2. Final set tie break. The match finished at about 5-11. It was the longest Wimbledon quarterfinal in history. But Djokovic came through, and his reward for that, it's a match against the world number one, Yannick Sinner. To give us more, I'm delighted to say joining us now is the former British number one tennis star, Greg Rosetsky. Morning, Greg.
Morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Hey, Greg, what about that match last night? What about Djokovic and his powers of resilience? I just thought he was incredible.
Oh, unbelievable match from Novak Djokovic last night. As you said, 5 hours, 15 minutes, longest quarterfinals in the history of Wimbledon. On top of that, he went into beast mode in that final set tiebreaker. It was like Novak was back to his 20-year-old self, running around, scampering, defending, finding a way to win. It was electric at Wimbledon last night. I was there. I was lucky enough to have a ticket, and it was exceptional. The problem Novak has, though, is he's got to play Yannick Sinner next round. Has he used everything up in the tank? Because at 39 years age, it's very difficult to recover.
I was going to say that to you because the recovery is going to be the issue, but he's such an athlete at 39. When you've been through 5 sets, Greg, what does it take out of you? How many days do you need to recover?
Well, you probably need an extra day. He'll probably get a medical drip so he can get all the electrolytes, everything back. He won't practice today. He'll take the day off, and they'll just be working on his body. His physiotherapist is going to be the key man today to try to bounce back because Sinner has barely dropped any games coming into the semifinals. He's giving up nearly 15 years as well, which when you're in your 20s, it's a lot easier to bounce back. That's the only question mark I have. Can he bounce back? If he can bounce back, we're in for one heck of a semifinals with Sinner and Djokovic. And I've talked about it before. This is the one major he still thinks he can win.
Yeah, and you know, watching last night, you got to believe it. I mean, 14, obviously, again, you know, Auger-Aliassime last night, 14 years his junior. But when he got to that final set tiebreak, you know, Greg, I mean, at that stage, I thought that Djokovic goes on and wins now because he's got the know-how He's got the experience. Counts for a lot.
Oh, it does. No question about it. If you look at their 5-set records, I think he's won something ridiculous, like 76% of his 5-set matches. Auger-Aliassime only 50%. So when we went the distance, there was no way Novak was going to lose that match. He was going to find a way. He's defying age, really. I've never seen a 39-year-old move or play as well as Novak has. I'm really hoping he can get the body back. Last time that Sinner and Djokovic met in that stage this year in the Australian Open, it was Djokovic who came through to make the finals of the Australian Open. Sinner, the world number one, everybody was expecting him to win everything this year. He hasn't even made a major final. So this is a huge match for both men.
Greg, I've got to ask you about Arthur Ferry. I watched the last round victory. I thought it was tremendous. 2 questions for you. How much did British tennis need Arthur Ferry in Wimbledon? And also, can he win?
Oh, we desperately needed him. After day one, it wasn't going very well. We were 0 for 12. Day 2, we had 3 winners or 4 winners, which was a positive. But he was the last man standing in the men's or women's draw by the 3rd round. What I love about him, he's got swagger. He's got belief. And the good news is he has beaten Kaboli this year at the Australian Open in the 1st round. I'm expecting a British victory, as I'm expecting England in the World Cup to make the semifinals. So expect a British man in the semifinals of Wimbledon and expect England to beat Norway.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because England against Mexico, the last half hour is very much backs to the wall when we showed just what we're made of. And I think that's the same with Arthur Ferry, isn't it? So far in the entire run, it's when he's had his back to the wall that he's been at his best.
Well, that's what we talk about, a champion's mentality. And he gets better when he's behind. I mean, in his 4th round match, he was dead and dusted, 2 sets to love, 2 breaks. Guy had a chance to get back another break, to be up another break in the 4th set. He comes back, wins the 4th set, wins in 5. Against Dimitrov in the 4th round to make the quarterfinals. Dimitrov's up a break twice. He breaks 3 times. It's that resilience. It's that movement. It's that return to serve. Don't wake up. Don't overthink it. Just play. If he does, he wins.
Talk to us about the home advantage as well, you know, the crowd, because that really helped Ferry in the last round. How much does that make a difference, mate, at Wimbledon?
Oh, huge. Because every time you can orchestrate the crowd, you can use it to get more time in between points like Novak Djokovic did last night. So instead of having to play 25 seconds in between points, it gets you an extra 30 seconds recovery. On top of that, it puts pressure on your opponent. He's playing Kaboli, an Italian. You know, Italians can be quite emotional sometimes. So use the crowd behind you. They want to see a Brit. They love the way Ferry plays his explosive tennis. It will be an advantage. We've seen it with Tim Henman in the past. We've seen it with Andy Murray. Use them. They are like in football, your extra man. In tennis, it's the same thing.
Greg, let's hope you're right about this afternoon and Arthur Ferry can continue to fly
Thank you, Greg,
for the UK. Thank you very much indeed, Greg.
Thank you.
Don't forget to listen to Off Court with Greg Rosetsky. It's the tennis podcast with big guests, bigger opinions. You can watch it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarx Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarx.
Gianni Infantino has come under some pressure during the course of this World Cup. Should he stand down as president of FIFA?
Yes.
We'll ask a man who sat in those sort of circles. That's not you, Gabby. It's the former FA and Man City chairman, David Bernstein. We'll also be joined by the only ever England manager to have a 100% record. It's Big Sam Allardyce. He has his say on preparing how we should try and hold off Erling Haaland. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
Mexico! Can you hear me, Mexico? Yo voy to win. Hello, base the altitude. Do me a favour, altitude. You're an absolute fraud, altitude. Rey Mysterio. El Chapo! Can you hear me, Chapo? Can you hear me, Chapo? Yo voy to win. Hello, base Speedy Gonzalez. Speedy Gonzalez. Superstar. Speedy Gonzalez. Can you hear me, Hank? You're going to win hell of a big chicorito taco. Do me a favour, Marichi man. Can you hear me, Marichi man? You're going to win hell of sombreros. Sombreros. Sombreros, you're going to win hell of a big guacamole. Oh, guacamole's getting to be a failure. Tequila. Can you hear me, tequila? You're going to win hell of a beating. Pinatas. Salsa, Cancun, Maracas, 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 can you hear me, Maracas? You're going to win hell of a beating, Peters, burritos, jalapenos, Mexico beer, you're going to win hell of a beating, tortilla, nachos, can you hear me, Mexico? You're going to win hell of a beating.
England were victorious at the Azteca. Wow, what a game. We dug deep and we got it done. Heroic performances all over the park. We are in to the quarterfinals. How good was Jude Bellingham? What a performance. Is that the best England performance you've ever seen? Can we go on and win the World Cup?
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received. Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is the talkSPORT World Cup Breakfast Show. I'm Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor with me, 8:49, Wednesday, July the 8th. Headlines this morning, if you thought football was all done, at least men's football at Goodison Park, you're wrong, because Preston North End are going to play their Carabao Cup first round tie against Huddersfield at Goodison. Everton women, of course, continue to play their home games at Goodison. It'll mean the final men's professional game of football there will no longer involve Everton. British wildcard Arthur Ferry attempt to become the first wildcard to reach the Wimbledon semi-final since Goran Ivanisevic in 2001. Remember him? Wow, he plays the world number 9 seed Flavio Cobolli this afternoon. He's already got one win over Cobolli this season under his belt. And Egypt fuming about their World Cup exit to Argentina after they viewed a number of decisions going against them. In fact, their manager, Hossam Hassan, says perhaps they wanted Messi to stay in the running. The world champions receive support at every level. We've been treated unfairly, and this has been an injustice. I'm not going to watch another game of the tournament.
Never mind.
It's his loss, isn't it? Former Nigeria captain William Troost-Ekong joined us earlier and said this.
Yeah, I think Egypt was very disappointed, of course, what the coach said. Controversial, and I can't completely disagree with him because I think, things have been slightly favourable to some teams and some players, but they would be looking back and thinking that they should have probably tried to manage that game differently. But for them to reach that stage of the tournament, and with the players that were on the pitch, I'm not sure if they would have really had that understanding and experience to manage those games the way that Argentina did. And I think that Lionel Messi showed why he's arguably maybe the greatest of all time, because he understands how to make the difference for those moments and maybe save energy for those moments too.
Yeah, well, Lionel Messi certainly saved enough energy, didn't he, for the closing minutes where, been ordinary by his standards during the game. He was exceptional.
Yes, that's what he does.
Yeah. Right, we'll talk a bit more about the World Cup in a moment or two, but it's time to say good morning to Women's Euro winner with England, Jill Scott, who's here to tell us about a new campaign around grassroots football. Morning, Jill.
Morning, Jill.
Morning, guys. You okay?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah, look, we will talk about the World Cup in a moment or two. I want your view on how all the big-name strikers have stood up and been counted here so far. But tell us about the campaign, first of all. What was that all about?
Yeah, so I do a lot of work with Stelling Bank, and I think what's so good is that they really want to help grassroots football. And the recent campaign Kick On is that they've realised that a lot of grassroots clubs are underfunded. So what Stelling are doing are linking them with local businesses to try and get some sponsorship, because some of the kind of numbers that have come out of the surveys that have gone round women's and girls teams, saying that 96% of them feel like they are underfunded, 76% of girls feel like they'll drop out of the clubs if they don't get sponsorship. And obviously for me, it was great to play at the highest level, but grassroots football is so important. I think none of us went on to play for our clubs or international football without our grassroots clubs. So, yeah, just trying to get as many grassroots clubs to apply through Stelling Bank website and try and get some funding and keep people in the game, really.
Yeah, well, I totally agree, Joe. I've got 4 kids and they all play football. 2 of them are girls, my 15-year-old daughter and my 8-year-old daughter. I went to watch my 8-year-old daughter the other day playing the game, and some of the standard of the football, like there was this girl, Jill, honestly, this little girl, 8-year-old, she was incredible. Like the talent and the desire now for girls to be playing football, even my 15-year-old as well. But the facilities, more 3G pitches are needed, and they need the girls to be able to play in them as much as the boys.
Yeah, definitely. You're 100% right. And the technical ability of the game now, I know that I wouldn't survive if I was...
Neither would I.
No, but it's, there's just so many girls wanting to play football, which is fantastic. But we need to make sure that these clubs are providing a safe space, the right equipment. And if local businesses can get involved, I think a lot of them think it costs a lot more than it actually does to sponsor a team. So I know that our coffee shop that we have in Manchester, we're going to be sponsoring a team this year, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Spot on.
So if you're potentially a small sponsor, it's still worth getting in touch, is it, Jill? I mean, you got any ideas of sort of what type of amounts we're talking about?
You know what, Jill, I can answer that as well, because my 15-year-old daughter's team, they're actually after a sponsor, and I think they might have got one now. It's because of the kits, Jeff. Like the kits are so expensive, so you need probably like a £2,000-3,000 like from a sponsor to help towards that for teams.
Yeah,
and I think that's what people think. But Stelling have done some research, and they're obviously going to be helping with this campaign. So it might need around £850 from a local sponsor. So I know that's still a lot of money. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I think people thought it was a lot more than that. So if you can, only if you can. I know it's a tough time at the minute for small businesses, but I just think if you can help the local community, a team in your area, then it just means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. It must blow you away, Jill, when you look back at when you were starting out in comparison to the number of girls who play the game now.
Oh, I'm at a school, if you can hear the school bell. But I think this was the late bell. This was me, I think. But yeah, it's great. And you know what? There's some girls here today, and we've just been playing football. And it's embarrassing for me to join in now because they think, oh, you used to play for England. And yeah, I'm not as good as the girls here today. But yeah, as you say, the standard is getting better and better all the time. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
Well said.
Jill, what about the World Cup then? I mentioned the strikers. Just look at them. Mbappe, Haaland, Kane. They've been absolutely brilliant. They've all stood up and been counted when was required.
Yeah, they've done so well. I probably can't give you much advice on being a striker, but yeah, these games, you look at Messi yesterday missing a penalty, but then you just never write him off, do you?
Yeah.
And to do that in a World Cup at this level, I feel like the game at the weekend, it's going to be Haaland v Kane. How Haaland got that second goal the other day, just out of nowhere. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I got back on Sunday. I went out there for a week. I managed to go and see France, Sweden live, and wow, watching Mbappe and Belling the live, they're just, they are another level. But I'm not writing England off. I'd love to see them in the final, and then in a one-off game, anything can happen.
Jill, my producer, is telling me that you're friends with Jordan Henderson. Disappointing, a freak injury he had after getting a booking without getting on the pitch as well. But he's staying with the squad, is that right?
Yeah, I've followed Jordan's career kind of all of my life, really, with him being from Sunderland, and I've heard some fantastic things about him. I think he just worked so hard to get to where he is, and I think he's such a fantastic role model for them kids who maybe feel like they're not going to make it, but I think he shows that with hard work and dedication. I think he's a great player, and for me, you would always have him around the squad. I know I've had a few conversations with the guys on the podcast, and they're like, what would you just take people to be cheerleaders? But when you're at a tournament for 6 weeks, you need them people that are going to keep the standard high. The ones who maybe haven't made the starting 11, but they need to make training competitive the next day. It's so important, and I think he's vital for that. I'm gutted that he got injured. I think he was going over the advertising board, wasn't he? But I think he's broke a record this tournament in terms of tournament appearances, and I think it's great if he's staying with the squad.
Yeah, I know you're a Sunderland girl, Jill. They've had a pretty good World Cup, haven't they?
Yeah, so many goals. I think at one point we had the most goals for club teams. But yeah, been so proud of them last season. I think to come up, everybody thought we're probably going to go back down, but to get European football, it's been great to see. I think to come up into the Premier League and achieve that, it's such a fantastic achievement.
Also, Xhaka staying as well. Great news.
I know. When I was reading that, it kept coming up on my phone. Chelsea 8 million. I was like, no, he can't leave, and he's so vital to any team he plays in. I think you've seen that for Switzerland again. He's just, when he doesn't play for Sunderland, we are missing something, and it's them players. I know, Gabby, you will know this, who maybe they're not the standout player who's getting the goals, but they're keeping everyone connected, they're keeping the levels high, and he definitely is that for Sunderland.
Yeah. And those European nights at the stadium are like, they're going to be a bit special, aren't they?
Oh, so special. The fans are incredible. My family live about 5 minutes from the stadium, and whenever I'm visiting, if I can't go to the game, just the noise. The Sunderland fans, I do think we're the best. I do.
Brilliant. Jill, good luck with the campaign.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too. The Lioness, Jill Scott there. Text from Darren says, morning guys, love the show. Working in grassroots football alongside girls football, sponsorship can be as low as £450 for a home kit for a team. My wife's work have just sponsored my son's under-13 team, and that was £850 for an away kit, training kit, and new balls. Yes. I mean, look, it is a lot of money. It's still a lot of money.
Yep, of course. Need a hand.
But yeah, the girls in particular, and the boys, because I know my boys used to play local league football. They always need a helping hand. Definitely. So if anybody can afford it out there, it's a good cause, you know.
Yeah.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. Coming up, are the England defence having sleepless nights about thinking about Erling Haaland? Who should start at centre half to deal with his threat? We'll put that to the former England boss, Sam Allardyce.
fact that Gonzalo Ramos, who scored the winner in the last round against Croatia, didn't get on the pitch says it all. Ronaldo, not his fault because he wants to play and the manager's playing him, but he cost Portugal this World Cup. And there'll be a lot of players, your Fernandes, your Neves, your Vitinha, Mendes, they'll be looking and thinking, legend of a player for the country, but because of him, we're going home.
Yeah. And as you say, the manager's seeming fear of substitute. I mean, takes off, the likes of Vitinha and Neto and so on. And you say Ramos sitting on, even when Spain take the lead and there's 5 minutes or so of added time to come, still will not put Gonzalo Ramos on.
I don't know if they'd run out of substitutions, windows.
Had they?
I think they might have. I'm not 100% sure on that to bring him on that late. But it's just a shame to see sometimes. Do you remember the famous words from, was it Jamie Carragher to Casemiro? Leave the football for the football leaves you. You look at Ronaldo now and you're like, if I was the next Portugal manager, I'm only taking the job if he is not in the squad. That's the level I'm going to.
Here's a thought for you. Roberto Martinez is leaving as Portugal manager. We all know that. How about Cristiano Ronaldo as the next Portugal manager?
Wouldn't surprise me. Plays himself every game for the next 5 tournaments.
He doesn't have to play himself because then he's still at the forefront of everything.
Yeah, it was just the walking for me, Jeff. The lack of pressing, the lack of offering anything, and throwing his arms up at his players. Even after the final whistle, he stood there. It's the Ronaldo show. He's not going around to.
Just because you're a football legend doesn't mean you totally light up the World Cup. These guys are just 3 who prove that. The struggles of some great names makes the record of Miroslav Klose even more impressive. It was in 2002 in Japan and South Korea that a 24-year-old Klose put the world on notice. At his first World Cup, he scored a hat-trick in Germany's opener against Saudi Arabia. He scored another 2 at the tournament and, well, what do you notice? Yep, 5 headed goals. The only time someone's done that in World Cup history. Germany lost in the final, but Klose had certainly raised some eyebrows. Klose scored another 5 goals and won the Golden Boot in 2006, although Germany lost in the semi-finals at their home World Cup. Tote to Mosch for die Fans. By 2010, Klose was playing for Bayern Munich, where they'd clearly instilled an I'm not scared of anything attitude. African and English safaris look a bit different, don't they? Brilliant. Anyway, Klose returned from his excursion, got a goal against England and was on the score sheet in the quarter-final against Argentina before Germany were undone by a pack of hungry Spaniards. 4 years later, Klose was 36, but he was picked for one last World Cup, much to the German public's frustration. He hadn't had a stellar season for Lazio, but Germany didn't have many out-and-out strikers at the time. Klose, though, delivered again. He scored in the groups, and then in the semi-final, he had his record-breaking moment. Klose got Germany second in that incredible 7-1 victory over Brazil, his 16th, a new World Cup record. In fact, to really twist the knife, he snatched it from R9 in front of the Brazilian fans. Klose started the final, and his replacement, Mario Götze, well, you know what happened in extra time. And with that, Klose called it quits, taking with him the record for the most goals in tournament history and the most match wins in tournament history, as well as 2 bronze medals, a runners-up medal, and that winner's medal. The dream of every single World Cup footballer he fulfilled.
Good morning, this is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor at 6 minutes past 9. We're here with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the Upgrade event. Check it out online. Last night, Argentina coming from 2-0 down to beat Egypt by 3-2. Switzerland 0, Colombia 0. The Swiss won on penalties after a very, very forgettable game. Nick mentioned in that news bulletin the Norwegian radio commentator. This is long before Cundy talking about Norway beating England, and I've got it in front of me, and this is it. Lord Nelson, Lord Beaverbrook, Sir Winston Churchill, Sir Anthony Eden, Clement Attlee, Henry Cooper, Lady Diana, Maggie Thatcher. Can you hear me, Maggie Thatcher? Your boys took a hell of a beating. Your boys took a hell of a beating. It's gone down as one of the greatest pieces of radio commentary in history, one of the 10 greatest pieces of commentary in history, and that's 1981, 50 years before Cundy.
He'd done it before him.
Yeah. So England gearing up for that huge quarter-final against Norway at 10 this Saturday evening. Can the Three Lions be an immovable object to this irresistible force?
The Viking, the conqueror.
When he gets in front of goal, he's just ice cool.
He's a cyborg. Left-footed shot is in. That's the one he wanted. A top-flight Centurion and the quickest player to have scored 100 Premier League goals.
He is the best in the business.
Into the path of Erling Haaland, who finds the top corner. Erling Haaland with another goal at the World Cup.
Come on, with all the respect I have for Norway, they will need more than that, more than Haaland, to do something,
Swept in towards Haaland! That is the moment he was waiting for!
I feel quite good after scoring 2 goals against Brazil and winning 2-1 against them.
Left-footed shot! He's picked up the corner! Erling Haaland, you beauty! Brazil 0, Norway 2!
Yes, England up against Erling Haaland, who's got just the 7 goals so far in this tournament.
Incredible.
Former Burnley and Brentford defender Ben Mee joined us yesterday. He explained how to stop the Man City man.
Using my body, that little bit of experience, that timing, knowing when certain players were on the ball that were a danger, the wide players that cause Brazil loads of problems. That first goal came from a little chip to the middle of the goal. Trying to stop crosses as well is important. But that timing of using your body, I think, is so important for playing up against him. When wide men do have the ball, sort of as the ball's coming in, can you get your body in the way, be strong, be powerful? I mean, for myself, I'm not the biggest centre half, so trying to use my body at the right times was so important against someone like him.
Well, for more on this, I'm delighted to say joining us now, former England boss Sam Allardyce. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Sam.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks, mate. Hey, you were a big centre half yourself. How would you have felt about taking on Erling Haaland?
Well, I loved it. It was the little ones I didn't like, Jeff. They were a nuisance getting along to my feet, you know what I mean? But I think that he's right what he said. Looking after Haaland is a difficult task, I think, particularly throughout the game. Your concentration as a centre half needs to be the best. I think that getting the right positions at the right time as well would be critical to stop him scoring a goal. If you switch off, particularly in the final third, you don't get side on, you don't look where he is and keep your eye on him, then you can pay the penalty. And he certainly proved that in his last game. I mean, he was hardly in the game for me, and then popped up with two goals, a header, left foot and bottom corner. Absolutely brilliant, to be fair. Mind you, we've got Harry Kane.
Yes. Sam, who would you start centre half? Because Jeff said a few days ago that he would play Dan Burn maybe because he's done so well against Erling Haaland and obviously very good in the air.
I'm not sure he'll look at the past record, Thomas Tuchel, in the Premier League. Maybe somebody might mention it to him. It might change his mind. But, I think I still like to stick with the pairings if I can. I think football's played in pairings, 2 centre halves getting to know each other, the fullback, the wide man, the 2 midfield players, the 2 Bellingham and Kane. The more and more they play together, the more and more they know each other, the more and more they play off each other. So I think it would be Konsa and Gay for me to keep that pairing together. And I think that in the cold light today, they've got to do the job. And the midfield players need the responsibility and the wide men to try and stop the service and limit the service as much as possible.
Do you worry at all, Sam, about the fact that for a short spell at the end of the first half against Mexico, maybe 10 minutes or so in particular, that Raul Jimenez gave us a lot of aerial problems?
Well, I think because they scored so quick after we got the 2 goals, I think the escalation of the atmosphere and the sheer joy and desire of the Mexican team put us under immense pressure, which created that situation, and it really lifted the Mexican team. So I think that covering that spell was extremely difficult, of course, and they didn't cover it that well in that particular area. But of course, you rely on your goalkeeper then, and Pickford made some very, very important saves, and I think that was crucial to the game going on to win. At some stage, it would calm down a little bit, and they managed to what we call weather the storm. So, it's a team they're going to have to play with a very good striker. Are they that much better than Mexico? I'm not sure. But of course, the threat up front, everybody knows if they don't know how he plays now, because he plays in the same league as them, and they're the ones that can't stop him, then I don't know who can. You know what I mean? So there can be spells that Norway are in the game. I mean, for me, the more you keep the ball off Norway, the more you get in Norway's half, the less time you have to worry about Ireland. So do that.
I mean, we had some fantastic performances against Mexico. Pickford, for me, stood out. Harry Kane, Bellingham, Gordon. We need the same level of performances, don't we? Because if this World Cup has taught us anything, is don't underestimate any nation. Even last night, maybe Argentina, did they underestimate Egypt and what they can do on the counter-attack? So all of our star players have to be at it, don't they, to beat a stubborn Norway?
Well, 100%, all of them. This is a World Cup, and this is, going into the later stages, you've got to be on top of your game, all of you. And I think that a manager needs to be on top of his game, and I think he's perhaps proving that, because he's going to have to bring the subs on at some stage. I'm just a little concerned about the number of sort of injuries we seem to pick up, and I think that, the limited your selection process, the more difficult it will be. But, hopefully, I hope Reece James is fit, because if he's fit, I think he should play him. And I think that we should hopefully get the 100% out of the team, not just from an effort point of view, but from the talent that they have. And we proved that again. I mean, is that not one of the greatest victories ever? 10 men against Mexico on their own ground.
Yep.
I can't remember how many they'd lost or when they'd lost at home last, but it's just a huge lift for the All England squad and everybody that watches England.
Did you watch the Argentina game yesterday, Sam? And if so, what did you think of it?
I'm sick of refereeing, Jeff. I think I'm sick of refereeing nearly from start to finish in this tournament. Like, it just proves it when what's happening when Donald Trump can interfere and get a decision change and undermine the game completely. I'm not happy about the refereeing. I don't think that was a foul. Trod on his toe. Come on. Dove like and squealed like a little baby. What about Salah? He stood on Salah's toe in the penalty area in the last minute, so that's got to be a penalty. I mean, it's just absolutely diabolical, And you do wonder if he's. I'll say this, and I shouldn't really, but you do wonder whether it's rigged. You do. And I'm a professional footballer, has done it all my life. But I look at it and I wonder, and I go, my God, what is happening? I mean, even Brazil, when they lost that penalty at the end against Norway, he headed the ball and that's it. His arm come up and he goes, and I just don't feel comfortable with it, the way it's going on.
Does it always go for the big teams, Sam?
Feels like it.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Sam.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much
man.
indeed,
Cheers.
Sam. So, pretty strident thoughts from Sam Allardyce there.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be played throughout the day.
I tell you what, he's not just speaking for himself, because a lot of the reaction that's come in on text this morning is pretty much reflected what Sam said there.
A lot of people are saying the same, but like maybe I'm just blinded by my love for Messi. Maybe, do you know what I mean, Jeff? Maybe that's why I don't see what other people are seeing. But for me, I thought it was a foul on Alessandro Martinez. 2 fouls, the shirt pull and the stamp on the toe. Yeah. And Salah, I felt, went down a bit easy.
Yeah. And I agree with you, but a lot of people don't see it that way. Look, check out the latest episode of the World Cup Daily Podcast. Natalie Sawyer's in Atlanta after an all-time classic game. Argentina coming from 2 goals down in controversial circumstances, as you heard, to beat Egypt 3-2. They'll discuss Messi's missed penalty. They'll discuss the controversial decisions during the course of the game, and of course Enzo Fernandez's stunning added time winner. Kick-off with Adrian Durham tonight comes live from Miami, 3 days out from England's World Cup quarter-final against Norway. It is live, of course, on talkSPORT. David Bernstein coming up next.
What's up with your moustache? I think he's full of it. That was That's a good tash. I don't know whether it is. Good tash. Falling off the side of my chops. Mate. You're kidding me. Honestly, I got the... Oh, dear. Oh, my rat. Mate, sort your moustache out. I can't help it, Jay. It's all over the place. A little bit like their defence. It's not happening. There you go. There you go. It's a good tash. Jay, yours, mate. Yours looks like... That's Graham Souness. That's peak Souness. Peak Souness, that, and it means business. Yeah, it does mean business. I mean business in the middle of the park, mate. Don't be messing with me. Oh, my word. How you feeling? Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to complain about being tired. Forget tired. Tired. Forget that. I'm not complaining. My tash. What's happened to the tash, mate? It's not sticky. Forget, I'm not going to say the word about being tired. No. Because it comes with being a proper football fan. You stayed up last night and you watched that game and you went through the absolute ecstasy and agony in equal measure. You deserve a round of applause. Yeah. You deserve a round of applause, mate.
It was unbelievable.
That was just...
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff.
It
had everything. That game had everything.
Mate, it was pure theatre.
It really was.
It was, and I've always said football, it's the greatest game in the world, but with live sport, you do get that. But in terms of unscripted drama, football can't be touched. Because what we went into, the Lion's Den, it was a bear pit.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Never lie. What's happening? What's happened? Mate, it's offside. Part of your tash is offside, Jay.
Yeah.
It's offside. Jay, VR's getting involved.
Ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning to you. Almost 9:22. It is Wednesday, July the 8th. This is World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor. Rest day in the World Cup, but not for us. World Cup Breakfast with you through until 10 o'clock. Now, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has made himself a few enemies during the course of this World Cup, hasn't he? Primarily for his relationship with Donald Trump and the subsequent overturning of Flo Balogun's red card. Apparently, I went viral in Australia last week for my rant on how ridiculous it was that had been allowed. To give us a bit more insight on this, a man who's moved in those sort of circles, which I certainly haven't, it's the former FA and Man City chairman, David Bernstein. Morning to you, David.
Morning, David.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
David, let's get straight into it. Gianni Infantino, is his position as FIFA president untenable, do you think?
Well, it should be, but FIFA is not that sort of organisation. I compare it a little bit to North Korea. You know, they can do what they like and get away with it, and you don't have sort of a real democratic process. So it should be untenable, but I think he will stick there.
It's incredible, though, isn't it, David, that it was even an option that you can have a president call you and then not overturn a decision, but allow Balogun to play. And I felt for the player. I mean, Jeff said the same yesterday. Like, he just wants to play football, and then what happens? Doesn't have the best of games, and they get annihilated by Belgium 4-1.
Well, absolutely, Gabby. You make a sort of a very good point. I think the people who've been damaged by this are, first of all, Trump, but I mean, he won't care. You know, he's at NATO now doing God knows what, so this is behind him. And Trump, of course, is one of those people who damages or tarnishes virtually everything he touches. So getting close to Trump is challenging, and therefore Infantino has certainly been damaged, and so have FIFA, because FIFA, the world governing body of football, should be absolutely intent on applying consistent regulations on, and they haven't. But I'll tell you who else I think has suffered was the US football team.
Yes.
Because I think all the negative publicity and so on must have got into them a little. It's, you know, I know those sorts of feelings in life as well as in sport. And there were some very bad vibes around, and I suspect they got that. I think Pochettino, their manager, must be pretty upset because they're blameless in this. You can't blame the team and you can't blame Pochettino. But I think they suffered it. I think that 4-1 defeat may have been partly down to that.
Yeah. So to what extent do you feel that Infantino and his relationship with Trump have undermined the game?
Well, I think they have, Jeff, to some extent. I think this is very much a one-off. You know, people are saying, well, it's sort of, you know, should England appeal against this and someone better appeal against that? I think this is a one-off. I think you've got, you know, a very particular president of the United States with the hosting this in the USA. I use the term, he may have made Infantino an offer he couldn't refuse. You know, that's the sort of feel you get with Trump. I mean, I wouldn't like to take a call from Trump of this ilk. You know, it wouldn't be easy. He's a very persuasive person. There's a lot of power behind him. But I don't think it's a long-term damage, really. I think it's a one-off. I don't think anybody else should try to take advantage of this, because with referees on the whole being right and VAR on the whole being, you know, correct and supportive, I think overturning these decisions properly is pretty unlikely.
Do you think, David, that there is any desire within FIFA for change? Is there anybody with a potential power to topple Infantino?
Look, I was very involved with FIFA when Sepp Blatter was president. In fact, I was the person who spoke out at the FIFA Congress in front of 2,000 hostile people that the election process to re-elect Blatter wasn't proper and things should be delayed. So FIFA's got a very bad record. I thought things had improved somewhat under Infantino, but again, this is a very special thing. These guys, Blatter and Infantino, they're very clever politicians in a way. They know their constituents. The enlarged World Cup recognises that because it brings in smaller nations. It gives more votes to the president, the existing president, which is Infantino. So I think he knows how to play the game. I think he will stay in place, I suspect. And as I say, it's not really a democracy. You know, when you talk about independent committees at FIFA, I wonder how independent they really are.
David, just on a slightly different topic, I'm sure you've seen that the IOC are to allow Russia back into the Olympic Games, and word is that FIFA may well follow suit and allow Russia to play in the World Cup in future. How would you view that?
Oh my goodness, we live in a world of great hypocrisy, don't we? Where money and power seem to prevail all the time. I think I'd review it pretty poorly. Nothing has changed for the better with regard to Russia, Ukraine. Terrible things happening over 4 or 5 years now, and I think the ban should probably stay in place. I can't see a reason why matters should change, because matters certainly haven't improved.
David, look, really appreciate your time.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
That's a pleasure.
David Bernstein, the former FA and Manchester City chairman, pretty strident views.
No, he's right, though.
On Gianni Infantino. Yeah.
He's going nowhere.
No, well, that is the problem. You know, David said that, how difficult it was in the Sepp Blatter days to stand up and speak to a hostile audience.
Oh, what a best.
You know, against Blatter, and I'm sure that's exactly the same.
Imagine the favours behind closed doors as well. Imagine what's going on behind closed doors that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
No. Don't want to think about it. Up next, we'll get more on Norway's boss, Ståle Solbakken, from someone who played under him.
Terrible story here, really. The French Football Federation say they're filing a report for legal action against a Paraguayan senator who launched into a racist tirade against Kylian Mbappe after Paraguay were knocked out by France in the last 16. Celeste Amarilla, she's a national senator in Paraguay. She took to Twitter, to launch an attack on Kylian Mbappe, which we would consider in this country to be an absolutely outrageous racist attack on the France striker. Many of the comments are that disgraceful, boys. I can't, and I genuinely do not want to repeat them. One thing she did say, though, which I think captures how rank and classless she is she said, the only thing many of us blame the Paraguay team for is not giving Mbappe a full-handed slap at the end of the game. I mean, I cannot stress how appalling her comments were, but Mbappe was class in his response. He took to Twitter, a platform that we know is rife with abuse. Yeah. And he was brilliant. He said, you're a despicable woman and unworthy of your position. You do not represent Paraguay, the country which has sweated passion and honour throughout the competition. Through your reckless and brazen racism, the entire world has already forgotten the journey and the historic effort that your players accomplished during this World Cup, making way for an incompetent woman who gives the worst possible image of her country. And I think that's a great response to what is yet another example of prominent black players being victims of racist abuse, tropes and stereotypes.
I seen the statement, disgusting, mate, is all I can say. Some of the words that she used, and are you surprised? Not really. Do you know what I mean?
Sadly, no.
Yeah, you expect it in the world we live in.
Total football, tiki-taka, the gegenpress, ways of playing the beautiful game that have defined eras. They're all, of course, team styles. But there's one player who invented an individual position which no one else has been able to play since. A man by the name of Franz Beckenbauer. His role became known as libero, which means free in Italian, because there was a similar position well used in Italy in the late 50s and early 60s. But he refined it and made it his own. Now, when I say he was a sweeper, you're picturing him marauding in front of the backline. But Beckenbauer covered the entire pitch. He was like Alan Hansen, Claude Makélélé and Paul Scholes, all in one. Despite his success at club level, though, Beckenbauer was told to play as a more traditional centre-back by the West Germany manager Helmut Schön at the 1966 and 70 World Cups. After years of begging to be set free, Schön relented, and in 1974, Beckenbauer had the tournament of a lifetime. His libero role was put to the test when he came across this lot in the final with their total football. West Germany won, and Beckenbauer had this moment of pure joy. His style hasn't been replicated since. Players have tried, but it's testament to just how good he was that no one's even come close.
Good morning to you. It's 9:33, last half hour of World Cup Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Gabby Agbonlahor, and Donald Clark, of course. Browse the UK's best used car deals and score your dream car today. Check out their website for more details. And it's time again now for a bit of this.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, what £26,000 of tax-free cash? Who doesn't? England are through, and to celebrate the World Cup, we're giving away the big bucks. So head to talksportwin.com to enter. Right, time to look ahead to this week's football with some high-pressure picks with Sure.
High-pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure. Non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down.
Countdown is very much on. England's World Cup quarter-final against Norway is just 3 days away. And, of course, it's live on talkSPORT.
Bellingham again, and he slipped into his right-hand side, and he scored again! It's 2 in a minute! Harry, your country needs you here. You've got to put this away, right footed, he has!
That was proper England. Fantastic. You filled your nation with pride. You are all heroes.
It's an extraordinary night and a huge night, but what I see in training on a daily matter, I think we still can play better.
That performance of guts and quality and everything thrown in the mix was some performance.
Back to Erling Haaland, left-footed shot! He's picked up the corner! It's Norway into the quarter-finals. Brazil are heading out. Erling Haaland, you beauty!
To score 7 goals for Norway in the World Cup it's quite special.
Bring on the Norwegians in Miami!
Now comes quarter-final. Now you see the end of the tunnel, and now from the quarter-final every team can win it. We're in the last 8. It's full steam ahead now.
Yeah, the countdown very much on. England looking to reach the World Cup semi-finals. Norway standing in their way, in particular Erling Haaland with 7 goals so far in this campaign. I just wonder whether there's a danger, Gabby, that we focus too much on Haaland, because they're not a one-man team, are they? You know,
not at
that
all.
Performance against Brazil.
Not at all. And yes, Sorloth was quiet, wasn't he? First half, he got dragged at half-time, but Oscar Bob and Shoulder Up were very good when they come on at half-time. Midfield, they're strong as well. Defensively, yeah, they're not just a one-man team.
No.
You've got to be careful.
And I look, obviously, in this World Cup, you know, they've beaten Senegal. They haven't had it easy. They've beaten Senegal, they've beaten Ivory Coast, they've beaten Brazil. They lost France, but they played a complete reserve team
yes.
on that occasion. And if you look back at qualifying, they scored 7 home and away against Italy, so they pose a real threat.
Yeah, and we have to be careful. Look at who they've got on the bench who's not getting any game time as well. Strand Larsen. Fantastic player, you know, for Wolves, moved to Crystal Palace. So they've got options as well to bring on if they are chasing a game. So it's going to be a difficult game. We have to be at it, Jeff, and we have to figure out the best way of stopping Haaland and Odegaard, who likes to run games like he did against Brazil. But they've got other players as well where we have to defend better against 1v1. If it's Spence, if it's Reece James on that right-hand side, you have to do better 1v1.
Ståle Solbakken is the man in charge of Norway. I imagine he's a bit of a national hero over there.
Yeah.
6 years in charge, and he's led them their first ever World Cup quarter-final. To explain a bit more about who the Norway boss is, let's speak to somebody who played under him, albeit pretty briefly, during Solbakken's time at Wolves in 2012. Carl Henry was there and joins us now. Morning, Carl.
Morning, Carl, mate.
Morning, gents. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. So what are your memories of Solbakken? What sort of man was he?
He was a good man. He was a good guy. He came in with Johan Lang after Mick McCarthy, and I thought he was a first and foremost he was a very good person, really good guy. I felt he struggled because he probably underestimated the Championship. I remember in his first meeting he came in and he told us how he'd watched all of our games from the Premier League the season before. We'd been relegated from the Premier League, and I just kind of thought then that the Championship is very different. You know, our centre-back, Christophe Berra, is not going to be chasing Sergio Aguero around in the Championship. It's going to be a very different type of game, and he set us up to sit back, soak up pressure and play on the counter-attack. That was his style of play, which I think ironically would have been perfect for the Premier League, for a smaller a team in the Premier League, a team trying to stay in the Premier League. I think that style of play would have been perfect. In the Championship, as one of the favourites to get promoted, it didn't quite work, and the fans, certainly weren't happy with it either.
Carl, how do you think we beat Norway? Because if you look at the game against Brazil, they had over 65% possession. That's what Brazil allowed Odegaard to dictate the game. Do you think we have to have the most of the ball and then less chance of them getting servicing for Haaland?
I think so. I mean, I love the way that we set up against Mexico, and we did sit back and soak it up. And I think that top teams are able to mix that up. You've seen Arsenal this season go after teams, and you've seen them sit back and soak up pressure. I'm fascinated by that tactically. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Tuchel does. But I would love to see us go and get after them. That's what I would love to see us on the front foot. They'll probably be expecting us to sit back and let them have the ball and us play a similar way to we did against Mexico. But I think we're good enough to go after them and create chances. Because I think when you do go and regain the ball high up the pitch, you cause a lot of problems. You create more chances.
So from that spell you had with Solbakken, are you surprised to see him sort of mixing with the elite at the top table in the World Cup?
No, I'm not. I mean, him being Norwegian, you could see that tactically he was good, and he just had his way. And what I would say, I'm doing my coaching badges now, and I've really got this idea of live by your sword, die by your sword. I do have a lot of respect for managers who want to play their way and will do it no matter what. He was, as I said, nothing bad to say about Solbakken as a person. He was a really good, real good person, down to earth. Yeah. Looked after the squad, and Johan Lang, who's now at Spurs, was his assistant, and they were brilliant. But it was just that I think when you're not from England, I don't think people realise. If you've watched a lot of Premier League football, I think people think the Championship is very much the same. And to those of us who have played in both the Championship or fans who have watched the Championship and the Premier League, they are very different leagues. You get that respect in the Premier League. Teams will sit off you, even as a team who's a newly promoted side. You get time on the ball. You go in the Championship, you can't play against anybody in the Championship, and there's no respect. Everyone's in your face. The ball's lumped in behind you all the time. And I just think he just didn't quite really realise what he was getting into in the Championship.
I think as well, Carl, listen, I agree with you. I'd love us to go after Norway, but we have to respect them as well, don't we? Because there'll be loads of fans out there that are like, we're better than Norway. Who are Norway? They haven't done well in the World Cup before, but this is a different Norwegian squad, isn't it? The talent that they've got throughout the squad, on the bench as well. It's going to be a very tough game.
They've got quality. They've got loads of quality. And Haaland, obviously, it's just that icing on the cake. It's going to be so tough trying to stop him. But they've got goals in other areas. I really liked the way that they took the game to Brazil and played with a load of attacking intent. I don't think anybody expected that. I enjoy the way they play. They've got a threat from everywhere. Odegaard is a quality player. I absolutely love him, and we're going to have our work cut out. But I thought our performance against Mexico was incredible. Was an incredible performance for a number of reasons. In and out of possession, I thought we were fantastic. We took our goals really well, and I felt sorry. I thought Mexico, from their point of view, they played a brilliant game as well. So we're going to have our work cut out for sure. And I'm sure Solbakken will be doing everything he can to try and nullify our threats too.
Just finally, Carl, we've got clutch of players on yellow cards at the moment. Declan Rice and Bellingham and O'Reilly and Mark Gahey. As someone who picked up one or two during the course of your career, how will they approach this, knowing that the punishment for another yellow could be to miss the semi-final?
It's a really tricky one. I think back when I was playing, I retired 7 years ago, but it feels like a completely different game now. And I was, as you said, I was so often on a yellow card in games and was able to balance my game and make clever decisions and make sure I didn't go in and I only had 4 red cards in my career, so that wasn't many. But you're able to walk that tightrope in today's game, and certainly in this World Cup. I don't think anybody can really predict what's a yellow and what isn't, and some of the challenges that have gone unpunished, it's been incredible to see it. And some of I thought Rice's yellow card was really harsh. So I really don't know what the answer is to that. I think they've just got to hope and pray that they don't get a silly yellow card, or the referee can give them something that's undeserved. That would be my concern, that there's just so much inconsistency with the refereeing in this World Cup. You've just got to pray for the best.
You need to give them a few lessons in tightrope walking, Carl. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Carl. Top man, mate.
Pleasure, gents. All the best.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Carl Henry played under the Norway boss, Stally Solbakken, back at Wolves. And that was a look ahead with Sure non-stop protection deodorant that won't ever let you down.
High pressure picks on talkSPORT with Sure, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Just a bit of transfer news to bring you. Brentford have agreed a deal with Callum Wilson to join on a one-year contract after leaving West Ham. Good move, Gab?
Very good move. Clever bit of business. I thought West Ham would want to keep him to help in the Championship, but with Thiago, you never know. Might get second season syndrome, Jeff. You don't know how he will do second season. Callum Wilson is a good player to come off the bench and start now and then, and he's still a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Especially disallowed one against Arsenal that should have been given.
They've also signed Jadon Anthony from Burnley. I think I read about £17 million.
He's a decent player, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a decent player.
He strikes me as a Brentford type of player, to be honest.
Yes. Brentford, they're the sort of two signings, Jeff, that are clever. You're not spending 50, 60 million on players. Just nice signings like that will help the squad next season.
And, of course, I'm sure you'll be delighted to hear that Tottenham are lining up a bid for Krupi Jr. at Bournemouth. £85 million.
No problem. No problem for them. Yeah, why not? Why don't they buy £100 million player every week until September when the transfer window closes? How about that?
I love seeing the mellow. I love seeing the mellow side of you this morning.
Honestly, Villa are there like scraping their pockets. Oh, can we spend this? Because we've got. Let's move on.
We will move on.
Please.
It's 9:45.
Gabby, you silly little boy.
What did you think of Cristiano's performances at this World Cup?
Well, listen, to be honest, take away the performances. I'm just on because I'm annoyed at Gabby for calling him a disgrace, to be honest. I think it's bang out of order. I think what he's done in his career, he's earned the right to be there.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
How's he not earned the right? How's he not earned the right? He scored 28 goals last season. He's 41, Gabby.
So?
What age did you retire? What age did you retire?
What age did you start playing professional football yourself, mate? Yeah,
Don't
pipe
worry
down.
about me, mate.
Pipe
Don't
down.
worry about me, mate.
Don't go there, mate, when you haven't kicked the football in your life, okay? Settle down.
Brilliant, mate.
Yep.
I know what it's
Settle
about.
down.
Don't worry about that.
Settle down.
No, you're a disgrace for calling him a disgrace.
No problem.
Honestly,
No,
it's unbelievable.
look, in fairness, Jack, we stood up for Cristiano. He said he had a wonderful, marvellous career. Nobody earns the right to play at a World Cup finals at 41 just because what you've achieved in the past. No one stops time. And you could see him last night. I mean, he was doddering around in attack. He could not raise a gallop. Time has caught up with him.
Jack still wants him started in the next World Cup as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. He's still producing. But there's loads of top... No, I'm saying Messi walks about, but he's still producing at the World Cup, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But to say that he's not earned the right, he hasn't. He is a phenomenon.
But he's not anymore.
41 years of age.
But he's not anymore.
Unbelievable. You know how hard it is to keep yourself in shape.
But he's not anymore.
Jack, surely
it's not a modelling competition.
Jack,
it's a
he'd
football game.
He'd earned the right to play a...
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
World Cup Breakfast with Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Lazy song by Bruno Mars. Why are we playing it today? Well, because the World Cup has gotten a bit lazy today. First rest day.
Incredible.
Got something in common with Bruno Mars. Same height. Same height. We're both short houses. 48 teams then whittled down to a final 8. 11 days until a world champion is crowned. So it's time for you, Gabby, to count down your standout moments of the tournament so far. What have you got for us?
So number one, I've got to give it to Curacao, getting a draw against Ecuador. A population of 170,000 people. Incredible achievement for them.
It breaks for Lacardia inside the penalty area for Curacao. And then Comaneci scores! And Curacao have their first goal at a World Cup finals! What a moment for them, and what a moment for this World Cup. Germany won, Curacao won.
Number two, I've gone with Cape Verde, the goalkeeper. Performance against Spain, incredible saves, an incredible point for them.
Cucurella gets the crossover, evaded one, Torres, good save by the keeper low down to his right-hand side. Torres was arriving inside the penalty area, and he hit it with his left foot from about 12 yards out, and the keeper's seen that late, and he's made a really good stop.
Yeah, I know this is sort of messy loving, but after Argentina played Cape Verde, Messi went over to Vizinha, the Cape Verde goalkeeper.
Amazing, wasn't it?
And he said, "You are great. Your people must be proud of you."
Imagine that.
It's fantastic.
That's generational, that is. You're telling your family that, you're telling your kids and grandkids. Messi said that to me. Wow.
Incredible.
Incredible as well.
And he was right. He deserved
it. Of course he was. Some of the saves as well. And staying on Cape Verde, I've got to go next with the Cape Verde screamer against Argentina. Lopez Cabral, fantastic goal.
What a... Oh, brilliant! That is a stunning goal, an unbelievable goal. I mean, if you didn't see it, you just couldn't comprehend it. Sydney Cabral with the best goal of the lot.
Yeah, it was an amazing goal, wasn't it?
Even tried a shot.
That will live with him forever.
Jeff, even to try, because if that goes out for a corner or goes over the bar, you're probably getting told, come on, you're just giving the ball back to Argentina here, keep the ball. So to have the bravery to even try it, fantastic from the player.
It was, yeah.
So I'm not biased, Jeff, at all, but number 4, I'm going to go with the England win over Mexico. Just everything about it. The performance, 10 men. I know you don't using the word heroic play from a lot of our players. I have to go with England's win over Mexico at the Azteca.
England have beaten Mexico in the Azteca. They've now got Norway in Miami in the quarterfinals. What a famous day. July the 5th, 2026. 40 years on from the hand of God. And they've come back here for a day and a win they will never forget.
That surprised me after the game. I don't know why, but I just didn't think that the Mexicans would put our songs on. I don't know, Jess. Something about it, I just thought, like, the anger that you've lost and out. But I like the way they did that.
Did you? Some of the shots afterwards of Mexican fans mixing with England fans.
I didn't expect it.
Being in the same bars, singing English songs, singing Wonderwall, and things like that.
That's how it should be, shouldn't it?
Mexicans were incredible hosts. We talk about England. Just want to mention one other England moment that's sort of almost been forgotten now, but it enabled us to play Mexico, and that was Harry Kane's winning goal against Congo.
Great show.
Which we'd been dreadful during the course of the game, really. You know, and then Kane almost single-handedly took it by the scruff of the neck. What a brilliant goal that was.
What's crazy about that finish as well, Jeff, as being a striker, like, he's facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
So he's facing to the right, not to get that whip on it and the height on it to finish. There's not many strikers in the world that can finish like that from there. Incredible goal. Even the Congo defence didn't expect him to score from there because of his positioning of his body.
No, God, I couldn't see him shooting.
No way. You think
let alone scoring.
Pass it out wide and get in the box. Yeah. But that's what Harry Kane's been doing all season. There's a reason why he scored 61 goals for Bayern Munich. Fantastic player. And we're going to need him. We're going to win his World Cup.
We are. There's been other great moments. Messi's hat-trick against, I think it was Algeria in the first Argentina games, then subbed as well. And I thought the Netherlands battering Sweden, that's one of the games that stuck in my mind. And Brian Brobby was, and most people didn't think would play at all in this World Cup, was absolutely
I think we've got to give the Scots as well, the Scottish fans. Maybe some of the performances. The fans. Honestly, Jeff, some of the clips going through Ocean Drive in Miami, it was like a scene out of Braveheart. It was incredible. Their fans done the country proud.
Well, we were with them in Germany, weren't we?
Incredible, so friendly
out there, and they were absolutely brilliant.
I thought they were going to chase us out of that pub that we done the show in, Jeff, but they were so nice, weren't they?
Oh, just incredible. and some of the penalty shootouts have been amazing as well. You know, and it's been upset after upset after upset, hasn't it? The Germans going out,
Ecuador manager jumping up.
Yeah,
to celebrate, and we're thinking,
that was great.
Incredible.
Where he clambered into the stands.
Yeah, incredible.
You know,
he was getting a lot of stick, but it's been a fantastic World Cup so far. We don't need to compare to the however many World Cups it's been over the years. It's been a fantastic World Cup, and we're just happy that it's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over yet. I mean, I mentioned that some of the big guns are gone. Do you see it now as a shootout between France, England and Argentina?
No, I really don't. I literally feel, Jeff, you have to take every game as it comes. We've seen yesterday, Argentina nearly went out. Look at Germany going out, the Netherlands, Brazil. No one expected them to lose to Norway. We're favourites slightly to beat Norway. That can easily go either way. Spain will have a say as well. You think Spain are going to just sit down and let France go and beat them in the semi-final? That'll be a hell of a semi-final.
Below the radar, Spain,
exactly.
haven't they?
So are they going to improve against Belgium? Will they get through against Belgium? Are they going to say, okay, we'll have a bit of you, France? So I think it's hard to say who's going to win it at the moment. I do want England to win it. Secondly, France, because that was my little bet I had on. Don't want to say how much I had on it, but a little bet on France to win it. Got decent odds. I've also got, Jeff, a decent cash out at the moment as well, but I'm not taking it.
Oh, really?
I'm holding on to the end.
You're going to stick with them?
I am, yes. Maybe I'll cash out if they're playing England in the final.
Yeah.
But it's been a fantastic World Cup, and don't underestimate Argentina. That performance last night.
First quarter-final tomorrow. France against Morocco. Absolutely fantastic game on the face of it.
Think of extra time for me, Jeff.
Yeah.
Extra time, and seeing her play a lot of Bouadi again, play for France in youth team, and he chose to go and play for Morocco. Yeah, looking forward to it. Incredible.
And the legendary French midfielder Manon Petit will be with us live from 8 tomorrow morning.
What a treat.
You don't want to miss that. Don't forget White and Jordan from 1 this afternoon, joined by the World Cup Task Force boss Andrew Giuliani. After that, it's Drive with Andy and Darren live from New York City. Kick-off with Adrian Durham comes from sunny Miami. 3 days out from England's quarter-final against Norway. Gabby, have a great rest day.
We deserved.
Yeah, we're going to go and put our feet up.
What's the tennis? Come on, Ferry.
Oh, yeah, come on, Ferry. That could be fantastic.
Yes.
On court about 3 o'clock. Paul Hawksby and Charlie Baker are coming up next. Bye-bye from us.
Trump, who I think I heard say at one stage he didn't know about the red card system, he still suggested
unfair.
that the referee at the heart of this,
suspicious.
Rafael Claus, was a bit suspect. He's the president.
These were two great athletes that got tangled up, and this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past. I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do, but and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say